Hello and welcome to this journey into the amazing world of your mind. I'm so glad you are here because today we are going to explore something very special. We are going to look at how our brain, which helps us think and make plans, works together with our heart, which fills us with feelings and emotions. Even though I will use simple words to tell our story, the ideas we explore are deep and complex, ideas that even older students think about every day. Imagine that your mind is like a huge, busy city. In this city, there are many streets and bridges and buildings that work together in perfect harmony. Some parts of the city are like busy highways where thoughts zoom by very fast, and other parts are like quiet parks where feelings grow slowly and steadily. In this city, every road and every building has an important job, just like every part of your mind does. Even if the words I use are simple, the ideas we are going to talk about are as deep and rich as a big library of knowledge. Have you ever thought about how sometimes you know what is right but feel like doing something else? Maybe you know you should study for an important test, but you feel drawn to play outside with your friends. That feeling is not just a little mix-up in your mind. It is what scientists call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a fancy way of saying that your brain and your heart are not agreeing with each other. Even though the words sound difficult, the idea is simple. Sometimes our smart thoughts and our strong feelings have a little argument inside us. And even if this sounds confusing, these little arguments are actually signs that we are thinking deeply about our choices. They show that our mind is working hard to understand both what is true and what feels right. Think of your thoughts and feelings like two different teams on the same sports field. One team is called logic, and they are very good at solving puzzles, remembering facts, and planning for the future. The other team is called emotion, and they are experts at understanding love, sadness, joy, and fear. Both teams are important, and even though they sometimes disagree, they need each other to help you grow into a thoughtful and caring person. Even when these two teams seem to be in a tug-of-war, it means you are learning to see the world in all its bright colors and shadows. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a student named Jordan who is very smart and always gets good grades. Jordan has a big dream of becoming a scientist and making amazing discoveries. Every day, Jordan studies hard, reads lots of books, and listens carefully in class. But one day, while Jordan is working on a very difficult math problem, a thought comes to mind: maybe I should take a break and draw a picture instead. At that moment, Jordan feels two very different ideas at once. One part of the mind says, keep studying because every fact and number will help you reach your dream. The other part says, drawing feels fun and can help you relax, and creativity is important too. Even though these thoughts seem simple, they represent a big idea: the balance between knowing what is right and feeling what is fun. This is a moment of cognitive dissonance, where Jordan's mind is like a scale trying to balance two heavy books, one filled with logic and one filled with emotion. You might be wondering why it is important to understand these little battles inside our minds. The answer is that by learning about them, we can grow wiser and make choices that are more balanced. When we study the way our thoughts and feelings mix together, we learn not only to solve problems but also to care about our own happiness and the happiness of others. This is a bit like learning how to build a bridge. Imagine that you have two islands. One island is full of bright ideas and smart plans, and the other island is full of deep, warm feelings. The bridge that connects these two islands is made of understanding and balance. When you learn to walk on this bridge, you can travel easily between making good plans and enjoying beautiful feelings. Even though I am using simple words, this idea is very big. It shows us that every decision we make is a mix of facts and feelings, of hard thinking and gentle caring. Even though our mind is very active, sometimes it is hard to see how all these parts fit together. Think about when you are reading a book that is very long and has many layers of meaning. First, the story might seem simple, but as you keep reading, you start to see hidden messages and ideas that are very deep. Our mind works in a similar way. On the surface, you might just see simple thoughts and easy feelings. But if you look closer, you will discover ideas that are as rich and complex as the best stories in your favorite books. This is why even if I use simple language, The thoughts we are exploring can be as advanced as what you might learn in high school. They help us see that every idea, no matter how small it seems, is part of a larger and more fascinating picture. I want you to picture the mind as a grand library that is filled with books, each one telling a different story about who you are. Some of these books are about your dreams and hopes, while others are about your fears and worries. Every time you make a decision, it is like writing a new page in one of these books. Some pages are filled with clear, logical ideas, and others are full of deep emotions that sometimes seem to come from far away. When you look at the whole library, you see a wonderful collection of thoughts that makes you unique. Even though I use simple words, the ideas here are important and grown-up. They tell us that every thought and feeling is a piece of the puzzle that makes you who you are. Let's look at another example. Imagine you have a friend named Taylor who is very thoughtful and sometimes a bit serious. Taylor loves to learn about science, history, and the big ideas of life. But sometimes, Taylor also feels a strong pull to express creativity through music and art. One day, Taylor was invited to join a debate club at school, where you talk about big questions like what is true and what is fair. At the same time, Taylor also wanted to spend time practicing the guitar for a big concert. In that moment, Taylor felt that inner pull between the need to think carefully about important issues and the desire to create beautiful music. Even though these are two different ideas, they are both parts of what makes Taylor interesting. This mix of deep thinking and creative feeling is something that many people, even adults, work hard to balance. It shows that sometimes we have to follow more than one path at the same time, and that by doing so, we become richer in spirit and knowledge. Let's talk about something that scientists study called the inner workings of the brain. Even though I am speaking in simple words, the science behind it is very advanced. Imagine that your brain is a machine with many parts. Some parts are like computer chips that help you solve math problems and remember facts, while other parts are like musical instruments that play the sounds of your feelings. Researchers use special cameras to take pictures of the brain when you are thinking or feeling. These pictures show that different parts of the brain light up when you feel happy, excited, or confused. This tells us that our brain is always busy, like a control center that works hard to help us understand the world. Even though these ideas come from complex studies, we can think of them in simple ways. It is like saying that the brain has many helpers, each with their own job, and together they make sure that you can both learn and feel deeply. This journey into understanding the mind is not just about learning facts. It is about understanding yourself. Every day, you make choices that mix what you think with what you feel. For instance, when you decide whether to study for a test or spend time with a friend, you are using both your brain and your heart. Your brain gives you facts, like the importance of doing well in school, while your heart gives you feelings, like the joy of laughing with friends. Even if these two parts sometimes seem to argue, they are both needed to help you grow. This is why understanding the balance between reason and emotion is so important. It helps you see that every choice, big or small, is a chance to learn something new about yourself. Sometimes, you may notice that your mind feels like a busy marketplace. There are many ideas all around you, and they sometimes shout and jostle for your attention. In that busy marketplace, some ideas are calm and clear, while others are loud and exciting. It is your job to listen carefully and choose which ideas to follow. Even though the language we use to describe these things is simple, the process of choosing wisely is something that grown-ups spend a lot of time thinking about. By learning to listen to all the voices in your mind, you become better at making decisions that are both smart and kind. It is a skill that helps you navigate through the challenges of life, no matter how old you are. I want to tell you another story to help you understand these ideas. Imagine a scientist named Dr. Rivera who spends many years studying the mind. Dr. Rivera is very smart and has learned many complicated things about how our brain works. One day, Dr. Rivera was explaining to a group of students how our thoughts and feelings come from different parts of the brain. He said, "Imagine that your mind is like a grand orchestra. In an orchestra, there are many instruments, violins, trumpets, and flutes. Each instrument plays its own part, but together they create a beautiful symphony. In your brain, Logic and emotion are like those instruments. Logic might be the steady beat of the drums, while emotion is like the soft melody of the flute. When they work together, they create the music of your life. Even though this is a grown-up idea, it is explained in a way that anyone can understand. It shows us that even the most complex ideas can be made simple by using clear images and examples. As we start this journey, I invite you to look at your own mind like a garden full of many different plants. Some plants are tall and strong, like the clear ideas you learn in school. Other plants are delicate and beautiful, like the feelings that make you smile or sometimes cry. In this garden, every plant is important, and every plant helps the garden grow. Sometimes, you might need to water the garden by learning new things or by talking about your feelings with someone you trust. When you take care of your garden, you make sure that all your thoughts and feelings can grow together in a way that makes you strong and happy. Even though we are using simple words to talk about these ideas, the thoughts behind them are very deep. They come from the work of scientists, philosophers, and great thinkers who have spent many years trying to understand what it means to be human. These ideas help us see that there is a whole world inside us, a world that is as vast and mysterious as the stars in the sky. Every time you feel a little tug between what you know and what you feel, it is like a tiny star shining in that inner sky, showing you that you are alive and that you are learning. Sometimes, the mix of thoughts and feelings can be like a great puzzle. Each piece of the puzzle is a moment, a memory, or an emotion. Some pieces might be very clear, like a picture of your favorite place, while others might be a bit fuzzy and hard to understand at first. But as you work on the puzzle, you begin to see that every piece fits together to make a picture that is completely unique to you. Even if you do not know where every piece goes right away, the process of putting them together helps you understand the whole story of your life. This is the journey we are about to take together, an adventure where every thought and every feeling is a piece of the grand puzzle of who you are. I want you to remember that it is okay to have questions. Sometimes, you might wonder why your mind works the way it does or why you feel certain things even when you know they are not always right. These questions are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of growth. They show that you are curious and that you want to understand the world around you better. Just like a scientist who asks questions to learn more about a mystery, you are asking questions about your own life. And every time you ask a question, you get a little bit closer to understanding the beautiful complexity of your mind. Imagine that you are standing at the edge of a deep forest. This forest is filled with winding paths, hidden clearings, and mysterious sounds. Each path represents a different thought or feeling, and as you step into the forest, you begin to explore the secrets that lie within. Some paths are well lit and easy to follow, while others are dark and filled with shadows. But no matter which path you choose, every step you take is part of your journey toward understanding. Even if the language we use is simple, the experience of exploring your inner forest is as rich and complicated as any great adventure you might read about in a book. Let's think about a day when you felt both very happy and a little sad at the same time. Perhaps it was a day when you had a lot of fun with your friends, but then you had to say goodbye at the end of the day. Your mind might have been busy remembering all the fun moments, while your heart felt a little heavy because the day was ending. This mix of feelings is not a mistake. It is a sign that you are living a full life with many different experiences. It shows that you can feel many things at once and that every emotion, even the mixed ones, is part of what makes you real. The idea is deep, but it can be said in a way that is easy to understand. I also want you to think about how your mind grows and changes over time. When you are very young, your thoughts might be simple and your feelings very basic. But as you get older, you learn more, and your mind becomes like a tree that grows new branches and leaves every day. Some branches are strong with logic and knowledge, while others are soft with creativity and emotion. This growth is something that continues throughout your life, and even though I am using simple words, the idea is very important. You are always changing and learning. Every new experience, every challenge you face, adds a little more detail to the tree of your mind. There is a saying that goes, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." This means that your brain is not just a container that holds information, but it is something that burns with energy and passion. Even though the words are simple, the idea is grand. It tells us that every thought, every feeling, is a spark that can light up your life. When you learn to understand these sparks and let them guide you, you can create a bright, warm light that shows you the way forward, even when the path is hard to see. As you listen to these ideas, I want you to imagine that you are both a student and a teacher. You are learning about your mind every day, but you are also showing others the way by sharing your thoughts and feelings. This is a very important job because the more you understand yourself, the better you can help others. Even though the language I use is simple, the message is powerful. Your mind is a gift, and by learning about it, you are helping to make the world a kinder and wiser place. Sometimes, life may feel like a complicated book with many chapters. Some chapters are full of joy and laughter, while others are filled with challenges and hard lessons. Even when a chapter seems very tough, it is part of the story that makes you who you are. And every time you overcome a challenge, you write a new part of your story that is even more interesting than the last. This idea may seem grown up and deep, but it can be shared in words that are easy to understand. It tells you that every moment, every thought, and every feeling is a step toward becoming a stronger, wiser person. Even though we are talking about big ideas, I want you to feel comfortable and safe in your own mind. Think of your mind as a quiet room where you can sit and listen to your own thoughts. Sometimes, it is good to take a break from all the noise and simply be with yourself. This is not being alone. It is taking time to think about what matters most to you. In these quiet moments, you might find answers to questions that have puzzled you for a long time. And every answer you find is like a little treasure that adds to the wealth of your understanding. I know that sometimes it might seem that the ideas we are discussing are very complicated, but remember that you are smart and curious. Even if the words are simple, the thoughts they share are full of wonder and meaning. You are like an explorer in a vast, unknown land, and every time you learn something new about your mind, you are mapping out a part of that land. This adventure is not only about learning facts, it is about understanding the beauty and mystery of who you are. And that is something that every person, no matter how young or old, can appreciate. As we begin this journey together, I invite you to keep an open mind and a warm heart. Think about how every decision you make is like a brushstroke on a canvas, creating a picture that is entirely your own. Sometimes the colors might be bright and cheerful, and other times they might be dark and serious. Both are needed to create a complete picture. Even though we use simple words to explain this, the idea is as deep as any thought written in a famous book. It shows that you have the power to shape your own life by balancing what you know with what you feel. But take a deep breath and think about all the amazing parts of your mind. Imagine that every thought is a star in a giant night sky and every feeling is a soft glow that lights up the darkness. When you look at the sky, you see that there are millions of stars, each one unique and important. In the same way, every thought you have and every emotion you feel is part of the vast universe inside you. Even if the words I use are simple, the universe of your mind is as deep and wide as the cosmos. It holds secrets, wonders, and endless possibilities that you will explore as you grow and learn. This journey we are starting is one of understanding and discovery. It is a journey that will take you into the heart of what makes you human. Even though I am using language that is easy to understand, the ideas are meant for a mature mind. They are ideas that have been studied by great thinkers and scientists who have spent many years trying to understand why we think the way we do and why we feel the way we feel. They tell us that every conflict between what we know and what we feel is an opportunity, a chance to learn more about ourselves and to grow stronger in our understanding. Imagine that you are holding a small, shiny key. This key can unlock the door to all the secrets of your mind. Every time you use it, you discover something new, a hidden room filled with ideas, memories, or emotions that you did not know were there. This key is very precious because it gives you the power to explore every corner of your inner world. And even though I say this in simple words, the power to explore your mind is one of the most important gifts you have. It means that you can always learn, always grow, and always discover more about the incredible person you are. I want you to know that it is okay if sometimes you feel a little confused or overwhelmed by all these ideas. Even the wisest people have moments when they are not sure what to think or feel. The important thing is that you keep asking questions and keep exploring. Every question you ask is like a spark that lights up a dark corner of your mind. And every time you find an answer, you become a little bit brighter, a little bit wiser, and a little more ready to face the world. Think of a day when you had to make a very hard choice. Maybe you had to decide whether to spend your free time studying for an important test or to go out with your family and have fun. Your mind might have given you many reasons to study hard, while your heart might have felt the warm pull of family love and fun. This kind of choice is not easy, but it shows that your mind is full of both reason and emotion. It is like trying to mix two very different colors to create a new shade. Sometimes the mix is tricky, but when you get it right, you create something beautiful and unique. I hope that as you listen to these words, you begin to see your mind in a new light. Even though I am using words that are easy to understand, the journey you are on is filled with deep and meaningful ideas. It is a journey that will help you understand why you do the things you do, why you feel the way you feel, and how you can make choices that are good for both your head and your heart. This understanding is something that people spend their whole lives trying to master, and today is the start of that adventure for you. So, as we begin our journey into the inner workings of your mind, remember that every step you take is important. Every thought, every feeling, every question is a part of the beautiful mosaic that makes you who you are. Even though the language here is simple, the ideas are as grand and complex as the universe itself. You are stepping into a world where logic meets emotion, where every conflict is a chance to learn, and where every choice helps you grow. And even if it feels like a big task, know that every person, no matter how young or old, has the power to understand their own mind. Take a moment now to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine the vast, starry sky inside your head. See all the thoughts and feelings shining like little lights, each one adding to the beauty of who you are. This is your inner universe, a place of mystery, wonder, and endless possibility. Even though the words I have used are simple, the ideas you are beginning to understand here can change the way you see your life. They can help you build bridges between your dreams and your daily choices, between what you know and what you feel. Thank you for joining me in this introduction to the journey of your mind. I hope that you feel excited to explore further and that you are ready to discover all the hidden treasures inside you. Remember, every great explorer started with a single step, and today you are taking that step. Keep your eyes open and your heart ready for all the wonderful discoveries that lie ahead. You are about to embark on an adventure that will show you the true power of balancing logic and emotion, a journey that is as old as time and as fresh as the morning sun. Enjoy every moment of this exploration, for it is a key part of becoming the best and most understanding person you can be. When thoughts and feelings conflict, understanding cognitive dissonance. As we continue our journey into the inner workings of our mind, imagine stepping into a quiet room filled with gentle light. In this room, every thought you have and every feeling you experience is like a soft whisper echoing on the walls. Some whispers are loud and clear, while others are soft and distant. Today, we are going to listen carefully to those whispers, especially when they seem to argue with each other. This is the moment when your mind feels divided, a time when what you know and what you feel seem to pull you in different directions. This feeling, known as cognitive dissonance, is not something to fear. Instead, it is a sign that you are deeply engaged in understanding the world inside you. Imagine, for a moment, that you are walking along a long, winding path in a vast garden. On one side of the path, there is a well-kept row of trees, their branches straight and orderly. These trees represent your logical thoughts, the facts, rules, and the careful plans that help you navigate life. On the other side, the garden bursts with wildflowers in every color imaginable. These flowers represent your emotions, the joy, the sadness, the excitement, and the tenderness that fill your heart. As you walk along the path, you notice that sometimes the two sides seem to clash. The orderly trees might suggest that you should follow a strict route, while the wildflowers whisper that there is beauty in taking a different, less predictable path. When you feel pulled between these two choices, that is your inner world showing you that both logic and emotion are important, even if they do not always agree. Consider the story of a student named Riley. Riley is known for being very thoughtful and responsible. Every day, Riley works hard to finish homework and prepare for tests. However, there are days when Riley feels a strong desire to spend time with friends, laughing and playing games. One afternoon, Riley sat at a desk with an important assignment waiting to be completed. Just as Riley was about to start working, a text message arrived from a friend, inviting Riley to join a fun game at the park. In that moment, Riley's mind was split. One part of Riley knew that finishing the homework was important for future success, while another part longed for the joy and relaxation that only time with friends could bring. This is a perfect example of cognitive dissonance, the feeling that comes when two important parts of yourself seem to be in conflict. In moments like these, the conflict in your mind can feel like a tug-of-war between two equally important teams. One team is made up of logical thoughts, which remind you of your goals, your responsibilities, and the plans you have made. The other team is filled with emotional impulses, urging you to seize the moment, to feel happiness, and to live freely. Even though it may seem as if these two teams are fighting, the truth is that they both have valuable lessons to teach you. Your logical side helps you plan for the future and stay true to your commitments, while your emotional side teaches you about the beauty and spontaneity of life. The art of growing up lies in learning how to listen to both sides and finding a way to blend them together. Imagine now that you have a beautiful scale inside you, a magical balance that weighs your thoughts on one side and your feelings on the other. Sometimes, the scale tips too much in favor of logic, making you feel like you are always serious and never allowed to enjoy the fun parts of life. Other times, it tips too far toward emotion, and you might feel overwhelmed by your feelings, losing sight of your responsibilities. The key is to adjust the scale so that it stays balanced. This is not always easy. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to understand both the facts and the feelings. When you learn how to adjust the scale, you discover that you can make choices that honor both your dreams and your duties. There is a famous idea among great thinkers that our inner conflicts are like puzzles. Imagine that you have a big jigsaw puzzle with many pieces. Some pieces are smooth and easy to fit together, representing the clear, logical parts of your life. Other pieces are jagged or mysterious, representing the complicated, emotional parts that sometimes don't seem to fit at all. First, the puzzle might look confusing and incomplete, but as you work on it, you begin to see patterns emerging. Slowly, you learn how each piece, no matter how different, is part of the bigger picture that is you. In this way, every time you experience cognitive dissonance, every time your thoughts and feelings seem to be at odds, you are being given a chance to put another piece into your puzzle. Even if it takes time, eventually the pieces come together, and you see the beauty of your own mind. Let's return to Riley's story for a moment. After feeling torn between homework and play, Riley decided to take a break to think clearly. Sitting quietly, Riley imagined the two sides of the scale inside. The logical side reminded Riley of the importance of completing the assignment, while the emotional side recalled the joy of spending time with friends. Slowly, by taking a few deep breaths and writing down both thoughts, Riley began to see that it was not a matter of choosing one over the other, but rather finding a way to have both. Riley planned to work for a set amount of time and then join the friends for a short while before returning to the work. This decision was not perfect, but it was a thoughtful compromise that showed Riley's growing ability to balance the two sides. In this small moment, Riley learned an important lesson, that the path to a fulfilling life is not about denying one part of yourself, but about embracing all that you are. Now, imagine that you are not alone in this journey. All around you, people of all ages experience the same inner tug-of-war between what they think and what they feel. Even the most successful and wise adults have moments when their logical plans seem to clash with their emotions. What sets them apart is not that they have no conflicts, but that they learn from them. They take the time to listen to their inner voices, to weigh the pros and cons of each side, and then to make a decision that honors both their head and their heart. Every conflict is a learning opportunity, a moment when you can grow stronger and wiser by understanding the many layers of your mind. One way to learn this balance is by thinking of your mind as a grand orchestra. In this orchestra, every instrument has its role. The deep, steady beat of the drums represents your logical reasoning, steady and reliable. The delicate melody of the flute or the warm harmony of a violin represents your emotions, subtle and expressive. When every instrument plays its part, the orchestra creates a symphony that is beautiful and moving. But sometimes, one instrument might start to play too loudly or too softly, and the harmony is disrupted. This is like the moments when one part of your mind overpowers the other. The art of conducting your own life is about learning how to bring every instrument into balance so that together they create a masterpiece. Even though this idea comes from a complex understanding of music and emotion, you can think of it in simple terms. Listen to all the sounds within you and work to make them come together in a way that feels right. As you walk through your day, notice how small decisions can reflect this balance. When you choose to study hard for a test, you are listening to the logical part of your mind. When you decide to share a kind word with a friend, you are following the guidance of your heart. Sometimes, those decisions might seem to pull you in different directions, but over time, they weave together into the fabric of your life. Choice, no matter how small, is a step toward understanding the full range of who you are. And each time you face a moment of conflict, you have the opportunity to practice balancing those different parts. Sometimes, you may wonder why it feels so hard to make these choices. Why is it that the tug-of-war inside can sometimes leave you feeling confused or tired? The answer lies in the nature of growth. Just as a muscle grows stronger after being exercised, your mind grows stronger by facing challenges. When you work through cognitive dissonance, you are exercising your ability to think deeply, to empathize, and to find creative solutions. It is not an easy task, and it often takes time and practice. But every time you confront a difficult choice, you become a little bit stronger. Over time, those moments add up, and you develop a remarkable ability to understand yourself and the world around you. Imagine now that you are in a classroom where the subject is not just math or history, but the study of life itself. Every question is an invitation to explore more deeply. You might ask, why do I feel torn between two choices? Or, how can I know when to follow my head and when to follow my heart? These questions are important, and even if the answers are not always simple, they push you to think critically. Some of the greatest minds in history have asked similar questions, and their answers have helped shape our understanding of human nature. Although we are using simple language, the ideas we discuss are as advanced as those studied by scholars in the highest levels of education. Think about the last time you had a strong feeling that you couldn't explain. Maybe you felt both excited and nervous at the same time, like before a big performance or a challenging exam. That mixed feeling is a sign that your mind is busy working to balance different pieces of information. Your brain is gathering facts, like how important it is to prepare well, while your heart is sending signals about your hopes and fears. This moment, though it might feel overwhelming, is an important part of learning who you are. Each time you experience this, you are given a chance to explore the depths of your inner world and to discover new ways of thinking and feeling. Let's return to the idea of the magical scale inside you. Imagine that every time you face a decision, you can see the scale in your mind. On one side, there are weights that represent your logical thoughts, the facts, the rules, and the long-term goals that guide your actions. On the other side, there are weights that represent your emotions, the warmth of a smile, the joy of a kind word, or the comfort of a hug. Sometimes, the scale tips heavily to one side, making you feel unbalanced. But with practice, you learn to add just the right amount of weight to the other side until the scale levels out. This process of balancing is something that you can get better at with time. It is like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may wobble, but eventually, you find your balance and ride smoothly along. I want you to take a moment now and picture your own experiences. Think about a time when you had to make a choice that was not easy. Maybe it was deciding whether to join a new club at school or to stay with your current group of friends. Perhaps it was choosing between a safe, familiar option and trying something new that filled you with both excitement and fear. In these moments, you are experiencing the same inner conflict that we have been talking about. Even if the choice seems overwhelming, remember that every decision is a chance to learn and to grow. Every time you navigate that inner tug-of-war, you are practicing a skill that will serve you well throughout your life. Sometimes, these moments of conflict can even lead to creative breakthroughs. When your mind is stretched between two different ideas, it can create something new and wonderful. It is like mixing two colors to create a brand new shade that you had never seen before. In those moments, your brain is not just choosing one side over the other, it is combining them to create a richer, more vibrant picture of your life. Even though the language we use to talk about these ideas is simple, the process itself is incredibly complex and beautiful. It shows that our inner world is not fixed or rigid, but is instead full of possibilities waiting to be discovered. As you continue to reflect on these ideas, remember that every person you meet is also on their own journey of balancing thoughts and feelings. Some people might seem very confident and sure of themselves, but they too have moments of doubt and inner conflict. Even those who appear to have everything figured out have worked hard to learn how to listen to both their heads and their hearts. This shared experience is part of what connects us all. It reminds us that, no matter how grown-up or wise we may seem, we are all still learning how to navigate the complex, beautiful landscape of our inner lives. Imagine sitting in a circle with your friends, sharing stories about times when you felt conflicted, when you wanted to do one thing but knew another was better. In that circle, you might discover that you are not alone in your struggles. Each story adds a new thread to the tapestry of your shared experience, and together, they create a picture of strength, resilience, and understanding. Even if the words are simple, the meaning behind them is deep. They remind you that every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn more about who you are and how you can become a better, more balanced person. In these moments of reflection, it is also important to remember that growth is a process. Just like a tree takes time to grow strong roots and spread its branches wide, you too must allow yourself time to develop. There will be days when the inner conflict feels overwhelming and days when everything seems clear. Both kinds of days are valuable. The difficult days teach you about patience and perseverance, while the clear days remind you of the beauty and clarity that come from understanding yourself. Even when the path seems rocky, know that every step you take is a step toward a deeper, more complete version of yourself. Now, imagine that you have a special journal in which you write down your thoughts and feelings. Each time you experience a moment of conflict, you jot down what you felt and what you were thinking. Over time, as you look back on your entries, you begin to see patterns emerging, small clues that help you understand why certain choices feel so difficult and how you might make them easier next time. This journal is like a map of your inner world, showing you all the twists and turns of your thoughts and emotions. Even though the act of writing is simple, the insights you gain from it are profound and can guide you throughout your life. As we near the end of this part of our journey, take a moment to appreciate the quiet strength that comes from facing your inner conflicts. Each time you listen carefully to the voices within you, both the logical and the emotional, you are building a bridge between two very important parts of who you are. This bridge is not built overnight. It is built slowly, with each thoughtful decision and every moment of self-reflection. And as the bridge grows stronger, you will find that you can travel more easily between the realms of thought and feeling, making choices that honor both. Every day is a new opportunity to practice this balance. Even when the challenges seem great, remember that you have the power to adjust your inner scale, to listen to both your head and your heart, and to learn from the experience. The conflicts you face are not signs of weakness, but rather signs of a mind that is alive, curious, and growing. They remind you that every choice you make is a step in the ongoing adventure of life, a journey filled with lessons, surprises, and endless possibilities. In this way, the struggle between your logical thoughts and your emotional feelings is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a natural part of the human experience, one that even the wisest people have faced. And as you learn to understand and navigate these moments, you will find that they lead you to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. This understanding, though it may seem like a simple idea, is as powerful as any great discovery in science or philosophy. It is a reminder that within you lies a universe of possibilities, waiting to be explored with care, curiosity, and compassion. As we pause here, let these thoughts settle in your mind like gentle ripples on a calm lake. Reflect on the idea that every conflict, every tug of war between what you know and what you feel, is an invitation to learn and grow. Know that you are not alone on this journey. Each day, countless others are working to balance the scales of logic and emotion, just like you. And with every challenge you overcome, you add another beautiful piece to the puzzle of who you are. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine that you are letting go of any tension or worry about the choices you face. Embrace the knowledge that every decision, even those that seem difficult, is part of a larger, wondrous process of becoming the best version of yourself. The journey may be long and sometimes challenging, but it is filled with moments of insight and joy that make every step worthwhile. And so, as we close this part of our exploration, remember that the art of balancing your thoughts and feelings is a lifelong adventure, one that is both complex and beautifully simple at the same time. Cherish every moment of conflict and every moment of clarity, for they are all threads in the rich tapestry of your inner life. Every day, as you learn to listen more closely and to choose more wisely, you become a little bit more in tune with the magnificent harmony that is your mind. Imagine that you are walking along a quiet stream in a peaceful forest. The water flows gently over smooth stones, and you can hear the soft sound of nature all around you. In this scene, every ripple in the water represents a thought or a feeling inside you. Some ripples are small and quick, while others are large and steady. As you watch the stream, you realize that even though the water sometimes moves in different directions, it always finds a way to flow together into one beautiful current. This is a lot like how your mind works when you are trying to balance your logical thoughts and your emotional feelings. But think of a time when you felt a mix of emotions. Maybe a day when you felt excited about a new opportunity but also a little sad to leave behind something familiar. In that moment, it might have felt as if your heart was tugging you one way while your head was pointing in another direction. This inner struggle is not a sign that you are weak or confused. Rather, it is a sign that you are experiencing life fully and that you are learning to see both the bright and the dark parts of your own heart. In these moments, you are not choosing one side over the other. You are learning to accept both as parts of who you are. When you look at these moments closely, you might see that they are like turning points, small crossroads where you have the chance to decide how you want to move forward. Imagine standing at the edge of a bridge. On one side of the bridge, the path is lined with tall trees that remind you of the steady facts and careful plans in your life. On the other side, the path is decorated with wildflowers and soft moss, representing the vibrant emotions that give your life color and depth. As you step onto the bridge, you learn that you can walk in the middle, taking a little from both sides to create a path that is uniquely yours. This is the art of integration, blending your logical ideas with your deep emotions to form decisions that are both thoughtful and heartfelt. Many great thinkers have said that our inner conflicts are like the mixing of colors on an artist's palette. Think of a painter who has a range of colors: red for passion, blue for calm, yellow for joy, and so many more. If the painter uses only one color, the painting might look flat and lifeless. But when the colors mix together, they create new shades that are full of life and complexity. In the same way, when you combine your logical mind with your emotional heart, you can create ideas and solutions that are richer and more complete than if you listen to only one part of yourself. Let's return to our earlier example of Riley. Remember how Riley felt torn between finishing homework and playing with friends? After taking some time to think, Riley decided to work for a little while and then join the friends later. This choice was a small experiment in mixing both sides of the mind. It was not a perfect solution, but it was a step toward learning that both work together. Each time you try a new way of balancing your thoughts and feelings, you learn more about yourself. You learn what makes you tick, what makes you happy, and what you need to do to feel complete. Sometimes, balancing your thoughts and feelings can feel like solving a big, tricky puzzle. Imagine that each moment in your life is a puzzle piece. Some pieces are clear and easy to understand, like a sunny day or a fun class at school. Other pieces are more mysterious, like a time when you felt uncertain or even a little lost. First, these pieces might not seem to fit together, but as you collect more pieces and look at them from different angles, you start to see a picture emerging. That picture is the story of your life, a story that is full of twists and turns, challenges and victories, laughter and tears. Even though it may take time to complete, every piece is important because it shows a part of who you are. I want you to think about the idea of growth. Just as a plant grows slowly from a tiny seed into a tall, strong tree, your ability to balance your thoughts and feelings grows with every experience. There are times when the plant faces storms, strong winds, heavy rains, and these challenges make its roots grow deeper. Similarly, when you face tough choices or moments of inner conflict, you are training your mind to be more resilient. Every challenge helps you build strength. Even when the solution is not immediately clear, the effort you put into understanding your own inner world is like water to a seed, helping you grow into a stronger, wiser person. It is also important to understand that integration does not mean that every decision will be perfectly balanced all the time. There will be days when your logical side wins out, and other days when your emotional side takes over. Both of these moments are normal parts of life. What is important is that you keep trying to listen to both voices within you. Over time, you will start to notice patterns in the decisions you make and the feelings you experience. You might see that when you take a little time each day to reflect on your choices, maybe by writing in a journal or simply sitting quietly, you begin to see the ways in which your thoughts and feelings interact. This reflection is a powerful tool because it helps you learn from your experiences and guides you toward making better choices in the future. Think about your favorite story or movie. Often, the best stories have characters who face challenges and then find a way to overcome them by understanding themselves better. These characters are not perfect. They have doubts and fears, and sometimes they make mistakes. But they learn from every experience, and in doing so, they become stronger and wiser. Your own journey is like that story. Every time you face a conflict between what you know and what you feel, you are the hero of your own adventure, learning and growing along the way. Imagine, too, that you have a mentor or guide who helps you along this path. This guide might be a teacher, a friend, or even someone you read about in a book. This mentor tells you stories about times when they too felt conflicted and how they learned to find balance. Their stories remind you that you are not alone in this journey. They show you that even the most successful people have faced moments of doubt and struggle. These stories can be a source of comfort and inspiration, giving you the courage to keep moving forward even when the path seems uncertain. Let's take a moment now to think about the future. As you grow older, you will continue to face choices that require you to balance your logical mind and your emotional heart. Maybe you will have to decide on a career path, choose a college major, or even decide how to spend your time and energy in the world. Each of these decisions will be a chance to use the skills you are learning now. By practicing balance in everyday situations, you are building the foundation for making even the most important decisions later in life. This is why it is so valuable to learn about and embrace both parts of yourself now, while you are still young and open to learning. Imagine that one day you will look back on these early experiences as the beginning of a long, exciting journey of self-discovery. You will see that every moment of conflict, every decision that felt difficult, was a stepping stone that helped you understand your own mind a little better. Just like a long hike through a forest, the journey might have moments that are challenging and tiring, but at the end of the trail, you are rewarded with a breathtaking view, a view of your own growth, your own strength, and your own unique path in life. Let's explore a little more about how the two sides of your mind work together to create new ideas. Sometimes, when you are trying to solve a difficult problem, you might find that the best solution comes from combining a clear, logical plan with a flash of creative inspiration. It is like mixing ingredients to bake a delicious cake. Each ingredient is important, and together they create something wonderful. Your logical side gives you the structure and the steps you need to follow, while your emotional side adds flavor and depth. When these two parts work together, They can create ideas that are not only smart but also innovative and full of heart. Consider the example of a famous inventor or artist. Many of the greatest creators in history did not rely solely on logic or solely on emotion. They combined both to make discoveries and create works of art that changed the world. Their secret was not that they always made perfect choices, but that they were brave enough to explore every idea, to experiment with different possibilities, and to learn from each mistake. In your own life, you have that same potential. Every time you try something new, even if it does not turn out exactly as you expected, you are learning and growing. You are training your mind to be flexible, creative, and resilient, and that is a lesson that will serve you well no matter what path you choose. Sometimes, the journey of integrating your thoughts and feelings can also lead to moments of deep insight and clarity. Imagine sitting by a calm lake at sunrise, watching as the sky slowly changes color. In that quiet moment, everything seems to fall into place, the colors blend together, and the world feels at peace. In a similar way, when you take the time to reflect on your inner life, you may find that the pieces of your mind begin to fit together like a beautiful mosaic. Each piece, whether it represents a logical thought or a deep emotion, finds its proper place. And in that moment, you see the whole picture of who you are, and you realize that every part of you is important. One of the most wonderful things about this journey is that it is never really finished. Even as you grow older and learn more, there will always be new challenges and new opportunities to discover more about yourself. Your mind is like a vast universe that keeps expanding as you explore it. There will always be new stars to see, new ideas to ponder, and new feelings to understand. And with each new discovery, you add another piece to the amazing puzzle of your life. This never-ending adventure is what makes life so exciting and full of promise. At times, you might feel that the balance between your logical mind and your emotional heart is hard to maintain, especially when life gets busy or stressful. It can feel like you are trying to juggle too many things at once, and sometimes the juggling act might feel overwhelming. During these moments, it can help to take a step back and give yourself a break. Think of it like pausing a movie. When you pause, you can take a deep breath, reflect on what has happened, and then decide how you want the story to continue. These pauses are not a sign of failure. They are a necessary part of understanding and caring for yourself. They allow you to clear your mind, gather your thoughts, and then approach your challenges with a fresh perspective. Another helpful way to think about balancing your thoughts and feelings is to imagine that you are an explorer charting a new course. Sometimes, the terrain will be smooth, and other times it will be rough and unpredictable. As you journey on, you learn to read the signs, the little clues in nature that tell you when to slow down or when to speed up. In your own life, the clues come from both your logical side and your emotional side. They tell you what is working well and what might need a little adjustment. By paying attention to these clues, you become a better navigator of your own inner world. You learn to trust yourself, even when the path is uncertain. Let's consider another story. Imagine a teenager named Sam who dreams of becoming a writer. Sam is very passionate about stories and spends many hours writing in a journal. But Sam also feels a lot of pressure to follow a more practical path, like studying business or science, because those subjects seem to promise a clear future. One day, while sitting at a desk filled with notebooks and textbooks, Sam felt a strong conflict. The logical part of Sam said, "You need to study subjects that will help you get a good job." Meanwhile, the emotional part of Sam whispered, "Your stories are important. They are a part of who you are." For a long time, Sam felt torn between these two voices. But gradually, Sam began to see that both parts could work together. By studying business, Sam learned valuable skills, and by writing stories, Sam discovered a unique creative voice. In time, Sam realized that the skills from both worlds could be combined to create something truly special, a way to write stories that also made practical sense. This realization came from understanding that life is not about choosing one path over another, but about finding a way to blend the best parts of both. Sam's journey is a reminder that the conflicts we face can lead to wonderful integrations, where every experience adds depth and meaning to our lives. As you move forward on your own journey, You may sometimes feel uncertain about which voice to listen to, your head or your heart. Remember that it is not a question of choosing one over the other, but of finding harmony between them. Each decision you make is like composing a piece of music where the melody and the rhythm must blend together. Sometimes, you may need to adjust the tempo, slow down, or speed up. Other times, you might even need to rewrite a part of the song to make it sound just right. This creative process is part of growing up, and every note you play is a part of the symphony of your life. In these moments of creation and reflection, it can be very helpful to talk with someone you trust, someone who can listen to your ideas and help you sort through your thoughts and feelings. This might be a teacher, a family member, or a close friend. When you share your inner journey with someone else, you sometimes discover new perspectives that you might not have seen on your own. These conversations are like adding extra colors to your painting. They enrich the picture and help you see the full beauty of your inner world. It is a reminder that while your journey is uniquely yours, you are never truly alone. As we continue, I invite you to imagine that you are now in a peaceful clearing in the forest, a place where the noise of daily life fades away and you can hear the gentle beat of your own heart. In this clearing, you feel calm and centered. You take a deep breath and let the stillness wash over you. In this quiet space, you realize that every challenge, every moment of conflict, has led you to a deeper understanding of yourself. The ups and downs, the choices that seemed so difficult at the time, have all contributed to the rich tapestry of your life. This realization is a powerful reminder that growth often comes from facing and overcoming obstacles. Even when the path ahead seems long and uncertain, remember that every step you take builds the bridge between your thoughts and feelings. Each time you pause to reflect, each time you allow yourself to feel both joy and sorrow, you are strengthening that bridge. And as the bridge grows stronger, you find that you are better able to cross from one side of your inner world to the other. You become more confident in your ability to make decisions that honor both what you know and what you feel. This strength is something that will serve you well throughout your entire life, guiding you through even the most challenging times. There may be days when the balance feels fragile, when one side seems to outweigh the other, and you worry that the bridge might break. But just like a bridge built over a rushing river, the connections between your thoughts and feelings are resilient. They are supported by the many experiences you have gathered over time. Every memory, every lesson, is like a strong beam that holds the bridge steady. And even if a beam needs to be repaired or replaced, the bridge remains, a testament to your ability to adapt and grow. Trust in that resilience, and know that each day you become better at keeping your balance. As we near the close of this part of our journey, reflect on the ways in which your inner conflicts have taught you important lessons. Every time you have felt pulled between your head and your heart, you have had the chance to learn something new about who you are and what you value. These lessons are like seeds that, when nurtured, grow into a deep understanding of your own identity. Over time, these seeds blossom into a garden of wisdom, a place where you can always return to find comfort and guidance. The journey of integrating your thoughts and feelings is not always a straight road. There will be detours, unexpected turns, and even moments when you feel lost. But every detour is part of the adventure, offering new views and insights that you would not have discovered if the road were always smooth and direct. Embrace these detours as opportunities to learn and grow, for they are the very moments that make your journey unique and meaningful. Imagine, once again, that you are an artist working on a grand painting. Each stroke of your brush is a decision, each color a feeling, and each line a thought. Some strokes are bold and deliberate, while others are soft and uncertain. As you step back to look at your painting, you see that every stroke, every color, contributes to the overall beauty of the work. Even if some parts seem messy or incomplete at first, they are all part of the final masterpiece. Your life is much the same, a work of art that is always in progress, a blend of reason and emotion that makes you wonderfully unique. As you continue to walk along the path of life, remember that you are constantly learning how to blend these two essential parts of your inner self. There is no final destination where everything is perfectly balanced. Rather, it is a lifelong journey of exploration, reflection, and growth. With each new day, you have the chance to adjust the scale, to add another piece to your puzzle, and to further develop the beautiful symphony that is your mind. Take one more deep breath now, and as you exhale, feel a sense of calm and confidence. Know that every moment of conflict is also a moment of opportunity, a chance to understand yourself a little better, to learn a little more, and to grow a little stronger. The journey of balancing your thoughts and feelings is an adventure that will continue throughout your life, and with every step, you become a more complete and compassionate person. As we close this part of our exploration, allow yourself to feel proud of the progress you have made. Even when the choices seem difficult, every effort you put into understanding your inner world is a victory. You are building a bridge that will carry you through all the challenges and triumphs of life, and each step you take adds to the strength and beauty of that bridge. In the days to come, remember the lessons of this journey. Remember that your mind is a rich, complex landscape where logic and emotion dance together, sometimes in harmony and sometimes in conflict. Embrace the messiness of that dance, for it is through these movements that you discover your true self. Every choice you make, every conflict you resolve, and every moment you take to reflect is a testament to your growth and your potential. As you move forward, take with you the image of that peaceful stream in the forest, a stream where all the ripples come together to form one continuous, beautiful flow. Let it remind you that even when your thoughts and feelings seem to pull in different directions, they ultimately join together to create the story of your life. This story is full of wonder, challenges, victories, and endless opportunities for learning. It is a story that is uniquely yours, and every page you write adds to the legacy of who you are. Thank you for joining me on this part of our journey. As you continue to explore the rich tapestry of your inner world, know that every experience, every moment of doubt, and every moment of clarity is shaping you into the best version of yourself. Keep listening to your inner voices, keep asking those important questions, and keep building the bridge between your head and your heart. The adventure of understanding and balancing your thoughts and feelings is a lifelong one, and I am honored to have shared these moments with you. May you always find strength in your logical mind, comfort in your emotional heart, and beauty in the way they come together to form the incredible person you are. Enjoy every step of this journey, for it is the path to wisdom, compassion, and true inner harmony. The influence of emotions on decision-making. Imagine that you are standing at the beginning of a long, sturdy bridge. This bridge stretches over a wide river that separates two important parts of who you are. On one side of the river is your logical mind, the part that plans, calculates, and reasons. On the other side is your emotional heart, the part that loves, dreams, and feels deeply. Today, we start to walk on this bridge. Each step you take helps you learn how to connect these two parts of you, even when they sometimes seem very different. As you step onto the bridge, you feel a gentle breeze and hear the quiet murmur of the water below. You notice that the bridge is made of many small planks, and each plank represents a tiny moment in your life. A moment when you had to make a decision, when you felt a little confused, or when you discovered something new about yourself. Some of these planks feel smooth and solid, while others might feel a little wobbly. That is because, in life, not every decision is perfectly easy. But as you continue walking, you learn that even the wobbly planks can be made steady with careful steps and thoughtful pauses. Think back to a time when you were faced with a hard choice. Perhaps you had to decide whether to work on a school project or to join your friends outside for a game. In that moment, you felt that tug of war inside you. Your brain was saying, "This project is important," while your heart whispered, "But playing with your friends is so much fun." This feeling is a bit like standing at the very middle of our bridge, with each side pulling you in its own direction. But as you stand there and breathe deeply, you begin to understand that both sides have value. Your mind teaches you about planning and responsibility, and your heart shows you the beauty of joy and connection. Learning to accept both is like carefully placing a new plank on the bridge so that it holds both weight and feeling. Imagine now that you decide to sit for a moment on the side of the bridge. You close your eyes and let your mind and heart speak quietly to you. You might picture two gentle voices, one speaking in clear, precise words about facts and reasons, and the other in warm, soothing tones about hopes and dreams. Even though these voices sometimes seem to be saying different things, you begin to notice that they are both parts of the same story, your story. You learn that the best decisions come not when you choose one voice over the other, but when you listen to both and let them guide you together. This is the art of integration, finding a way to blend logic and emotion into one steady song. As you rise from your rest, you continue walking along the bridge. With each step, you remember that every time you experience a conflict inside, it is an opportunity to learn. Think of it like mixing paint. If you have a bucket of blue paint and a bucket of yellow paint, you might feel tempted to use one color or the other. But if you mix them carefully, you can create a beautiful green, a color that is richer than blue or yellow alone. In the same way, when you mix your careful thoughts with your deep feelings, you create ideas and solutions that are fuller and more complete than if you used only one part. There are many tools you can use to help you balance these parts of yourself. One simple tool is to take a deep breath whenever you feel a strong pull in one direction. Imagine that each deep breath is like a reset button that helps you clear your mind and open your heart. Another helpful tool is to write down your thoughts and feelings in a special journal. When you write, you give yourself a chance to see what your logical side is saying and what your emotional side is feeling. Over time, reading back what you have written can show you patterns and help you learn how to make choices that honor both sides. Let's picture a day when you use these tools. Imagine you wake up feeling a little anxious about a test at school. Your mind starts listing all the things you need to remember and study, while your heart might be worried about not doing well. Instead of letting the anxiety take over, you decide to sit down with your journal. You write, "I feel nervous about the test, but I also know I have studied hard. I am both scared and ready." As you write, you notice that the words on the paper help you see that your nervousness is real, but so is your preparation. With a few deep breaths and a careful look at your notes, you begin to feel more balanced. By the time you leave for school, you feel as if you are carrying both the clear plan of your mind and the gentle courage of your heart. Imagine further that during recess at school, you meet a friend who is upset about something that happened at home. Your friend's sadness touches your heart deeply, and you feel a strong urge to help. But at the same time, you remember that you have a project to work on during free time. In that moment, you feel that familiar tug of war. Your logical side reminds you that your work is important, but your emotional side tells you that your friend needs you. Instead of choosing one and leaving the other behind, you decide to compromise. You invite your friend to join you for a short while to talk, and then you promise to get back to your project. In doing this, you have built another strong plank on your bridge, a plank that shows you can honor both duty and compassion. As you continue to explore the idea of balancing your thoughts and feelings, imagine that your life is like a long storybook filled with many chapters. Some chapters are written in bold, clear letters of logic, where every step is planned and every decision is weighed carefully. Other chapters are written in flowing, gentle script that speaks of dreams, art, and the soft moments that fill your heart with warmth. When you read your storybook, you find that the best parts are where the two styles come together. They blend to form a narrative that is both precise and poetic, a story that is full of meaning and beauty. Sometimes, you might wonder if it is really possible to always keep that balance. There might be days when one side seems to overwhelm the other. Perhaps on a very busy day, your mind might feel overloaded with facts, deadlines, and responsibilities, leaving little room for feelings. Or maybe after a very emotional day, you might find that your heart is so full that it becomes hard to think clearly. Both of these moments are natural parts of life. They are like storms that pass over the landscape of your mind. And just as after a storm, the air feels fresh and clear, so too will you find that once the storm has passed, you can return to that balanced state. One important lesson on this journey is that you do not have to be perfect. No one can always balance every decision perfectly. Even adults, who have years of experience, still sometimes find themselves pulled in different directions by their head and their heart. The goal is not to have no conflicts at all, but to learn how to work with them. Every time you face a difficult decision and try to listen to both sides, You are making progress. Every moment of uncertainty is a chance to grow, to become wiser, and to build a stronger bridge within yourself. Let's imagine one more story to bring these ideas together. There is a student named Jamie who loves science and has big dreams of inventing something that could help people. Jamie spends long hours in the lab, carefully planning experiments and measuring results. Yet, Jamie also has a deep love for art, painting beautiful pictures that express feelings words cannot capture. One day, Jamie was given a challenge to create a project that combined science and art. First, Jamie felt torn. The logical side said, "Focus on the science. Make sure your data is perfect." Meanwhile, the emotional side said, "Let your creativity shine through in your design." For several days, Jamie struggled with this decision. But then, Jamie remembered the idea of the bridge, a way to bring both sides together. So, Jamie decided to design an experiment that not only tested a scientific idea but also used colors and patterns to show the results. In the end, the project was a success because it balanced careful analysis with creative expression. Jamie's story shows that when you allow both your mind and your heart to work together, you can create something truly special. As you keep walking on this bridge, you begin to notice that the journey itself is teaching you many important lessons. Every step that you take is like a conversation between the logical and the emotional parts of you. Sometimes the conversation is soft and easy, and other times it is a little more challenging. But with every word exchanged, you learn a bit more about what is important to you and how you want to shape your future. Imagine that every decision you make is like planting a seed. Some seeds grow quickly and bloom into bright flowers, while others take time to sprout and show their colors. Even seeds that seem small or unimportant at first can grow into mighty trees if you take good care of them. In this way, every time you balance a choice by listening to both your mind and your heart, you are planting a seed of wisdom. Over the years, these seeds grow into a forest of experience and knowledge, a forest that will always be with you as you continue to learn and grow. It is important to remember that the process of building this bridge is not something that happens overnight. Just as a bridge is built plank by plank, your ability to integrate logic and emotion grows slowly, with each thoughtful decision and each reflective moment. There will be days when you feel like you have made great progress and days when you might stumble and feel unsure. Both types of days are valuable. The confident days remind you of your strength, while the challenging days teach you resilience and patience. Over time, as you add more planks to your bridge, you find that it becomes a strong path that you can walk on no matter what challenges arise. Sometimes, when the path seems long or the bridge seems too wobbly, it helps to talk with someone who understands your journey. Perhaps you share your thoughts with a friend, a teacher, or a family member. In these conversations, you might discover that they too have faced similar struggles and have learned ways to make their own choices. Their stories, like gentle lights along the bridge, help guide you forward. They remind you that you are not alone in trying to balance your head and your heart. Every person has their own bridge to build, and sometimes sharing your experiences can make the process easier and more rewarding. As you continue your walk on this bridge, you start to notice that the gap between logic and emotion isn't as wide as it once seemed. With practice and reflection, you begin to see that the two are deeply connected. Like two sides of the same coin, they are both essential parts of what makes you a complete person. When you learn to trust that both your thoughts and your feelings have something important to say, you begin to build a life that is full of meaning and purpose. Let your mind wander for a moment and picture a beautiful sunset. The sky is filled with soft hues of orange, pink, and purple. The colors blend together seamlessly, creating a view that is both calm and inspiring. This sunset is like the balanced state of your mind when logic and emotion work in harmony. Each color represents a different thought or feeling, yet together they create a picture that fills you with wonder and peace. In that moment, you understand that the true beauty of life comes from the way these different parts come together. Every challenge you face on this bridge is an invitation to learn more about yourself. Each time you take a deep breath and pause before making a decision, you are giving yourself the chance to think carefully and feel deeply at the same time. Over time, these moments add up, and you develop a quiet confidence in your ability to navigate life's twists and turns. You realize that while the choices may sometimes seem difficult, they are also opportunities to learn, to grow, and to add new planks to your bridge. As the gentle light of the evening begins to fall and you reach a quiet spot on the bridge to rest, you reflect on the lessons of the day. You remember that every time you felt torn between your mind and your heart, it was a moment of learning. You have learned that balance is not about perfection, but about progress, one careful step at a time. You know that sometimes you will lean more toward logic and other times more toward emotion, and that is perfectly okay. What matters most is that you continue to build your bridge with thoughtfulness, and a willingness to listen to every part of yourself. In these quiet moments, you also start to imagine what the future might hold. You picture yourself many years from now, looking back on all the decisions you made, both the easy ones and the hard ones. You see a life that is rich with experiences, a life where you learned to trust both your head and your heart. That vision fills you with hope and determination. Even though today might have its challenges, you know that each day brings you closer to a more balanced and fulfilling life. As you slowly rise from your rest on the bridge, you feel a gentle strength inside you, a strength born from the understanding that every conflict, every moment of doubt, has helped you grow. You continue walking, your footsteps steady and sure, knowing that you have learned an important truth, that the power to shape your life lies in the beautiful blend of logic and emotion. You are not forced to choose one over the other. Instead, you learn to weave them together into the tapestry of your life, creating a story that is as vibrant and unique as you are. Take another deep breath now, and with each exhale, feel your confidence growing. Every step you take on this bridge is a step toward a future where you can navigate any challenge, where you can listen to both your inner voice of reason and the warm whisper of your heart. You are building something truly special, a bridge that will support you throughout your life, guiding you through every twist and turn, every joy and every challenge. As you reach the end of this part of your journey, pause for a moment and look back at the path you have traveled. See the planks you have laid down, each one a small decision, each one a piece of wisdom. Notice how far you have come from that first step onto the bridge. You realize that even when the journey seemed long and the decisions hard, you found a way to blend the best of both worlds, the clear light of logic and the soft glow of emotion. And in that blending, you discovered a strength and a beauty that only comes from truly understanding yourself. This moment is a celebration of your growth, a celebration of every choice that led you to build a stronger bridge. Remember that this journey never truly ends. There will always be new planks to add, new lessons to learn, and new ways to bring together the many parts of your mind. But for now, take pride in the progress you have made. Embrace the idea that you are always becoming, always learning, and always growing stronger in the art of balancing thought and feeling. Imagine that you are standing on the bridge we built, a bridge that connects the side of our mind filled with facts and planning to the side filled with dreams, hopes, and deep feelings. In part 3, you learned how to take careful steps, how to listen to both the voice of logic and the whisper of your heart, and how every small decision is like laying another plank on that bridge. But as you continue walking, you begin to notice that this bridge is not only a way to get from one side to the other, but also a way to see the whole beautiful landscape of your inner world. As you look down from the bridge, you see a wide valley that represents the many experiences you have had in your life. Some parts of the valley are bathed in warm sunlight, showing moments when your thoughts and feelings worked in harmony. Other parts are shaded, reminding you of times when you faced challenges and inner conflicts. Both the sunny and the shadowed areas are part of the same valley, just as every decision you make, whether easy or difficult, is part of the same journey of growth. When you walk along this bridge, you might notice that sometimes the path is perfectly clear, and other times it becomes a little foggy. The foggy moments are like times when you feel uncertain or overwhelmed by your choices. But remember, even when the way is not clear, you have already built a strong bridge with all your past decisions. Each decision, each moment of reflection, is like a light that helps guide you through the fog. In these moments, you learn that it is okay to take your time, to pause and gather your thoughts, and to trust that the next step will become clear as you continue walking. Think of a time when you were unsure about something important. Perhaps you had to decide whether to join a new club at school or stay with your old friends. In your heart, you might have felt excitement about the new adventure, while in your head, you remembered how safe and comfortable it felt with your old group. At that moment, you stood at the very edge of our bridge. Instead of feeling forced to choose one side, you took a moment to breathe deeply and write down what you felt and thought. Slowly, you began to see that both options had their own value. This process is like mixing two colors together to create a new, unique shade, a shade that is neither one color nor the other but something even more beautiful. As you continue forward, you start to notice that each choice you make gives you a little more power. The more you practice balancing your thoughts and feelings, the more natural it becomes. You begin to understand that every time you choose a path that honors both sides of you, you are adding strength to your bridge. And a stronger bridge means you can explore more of the vast, amazing valley of your life. Let's imagine that you now come to a part of the bridge where a gentle stream flows underneath. This stream is filled with memories, happy times, sad times, times of wonder, and moments of learning. As you stand over the stream, you see that the water is clear, and you can see the smooth stones at the bottom. Each stone is like a memory or a lesson learned. Some stones shine brightly, like a day when you felt completely confident after solving a tough problem, or when you felt the warm embrace of a friend. Other stones might be a bit rough or hidden in the water, representing times when you felt confused or hurt. Even the rough stones are important because they help shape the flow of the stream. The stream shows you that every experience, whether joyful or challenging, is part of the beautiful journey of life. While walking, you meet others who are also crossing the bridge. Some walk quickly, confident in their steps. Others take time to pause and look at the view. You notice that each person has built their own unique bridge, with planks placed in different ways. You smile, knowing that while your journey is your own, you are not alone. Every person you see has their own mix of logic and emotion, their own balance of thoughts and feelings. Sharing your experiences with them, even if it is just a nod or a smile, reminds you that everyone is learning to navigate the same path. One day on this journey, you come across a quiet garden beside the bridge. In this garden, there are benches where you can sit and think. You decide to take a break, and you sit down under a tree. The tree's branches sway gently in the breeze, and you feel calm. In that peaceful moment, you remember a story of a famous inventor who once said, "Great ideas come from the balance of logic and passion." You think about all the times when you felt that tug between your head and your heart and realize that those moments were the very moments that helped you grow. They taught you how to be brave, how to be thoughtful, and how to listen to the inner voices that guide you. While sitting there, you begin to write in your journal. You write about the choices you made that day, the time you decided to help a friend with a problem even though you had homework to finish, the moment when you paused to listen to your feelings before making a big decision, and the little moments of joy that made you smile. As you write, you feel that each word helps to solidify the lessons you have learned. Your journal becomes a map of your journey, a record of how you have built your bridge plank by plank. Even if you sometimes feel like you are facing a storm, your journal shows you that you have weathered many challenges before, and you will do so again. Imagine that as you continue on your path, you reach a small clearing where the sky is wide and open. In this clearing, you can see the entire valley below and the bridge stretching behind you. You realize that every step you took, every moment of conflict, every compromise, every choice, has led you to this place of understanding. The valley below is rich with experiences, and the bridge you built is strong and sturdy. You feel a deep sense of accomplishment and peace because you know that you have learned to combine the clear light of logic with the gentle glow of emotion. At this point in your journey, you start to see how this balance helps you face the future. When you think about the big decisions that lie ahead, choosing a career path, making important life choices, or even deciding how to treat the people you care about, you remember the lessons you learned on the bridge. You know that your logical mind can help you plan and think ahead, while your emotional heart reminds you of what is truly important. This balance gives you the power to make choices that are not only smart but also kind and compassionate. It shows you that you do not have to sacrifice one part of yourself to honor the other. Imagine that you are about to enter a new part of your life, a time of transition, like starting a new school or moving to a different town. This change might feel a bit scary at first, just like a sudden change in weather. But remember the strong bridge you have built inside you. No matter how stormy the day might seem, you know that your inner strength is there to guide you. The lessons you learned on the bridge help you remain steady and hopeful, even when things are uncertain. You understand that change is a natural part of life, and that every new beginning is an opportunity to learn and grow. As you walk on, you start to notice little details that fill you with wonder. Perhaps you see a butterfly fluttering by, its wings a mix of bright colors, each color representing a different thought or feeling. You watch as the butterfly flits from flower to flower, never staying in one place for too long, yet always leaving behind a trace of beauty. This simple scene reminds you that life is full of transitions and that each moment, no matter how fleeting, adds beauty to your journey. It teaches you that every thought and every emotion, even those that seem small, has a place in the grand tapestry of your life. Further along the bridge, you meet a wise friend who shares a story about a time when they had to choose between a safe, familiar path and a daring, unknown adventure. This friend tells you that the choice was not easy and that they felt torn between what made sense and what felt right. However, by taking the time to listen to both sides of themselves, they discovered a way to move forward that honored both their need for security and their desire for growth. Their story inspires you, and you realize that the journey of balancing your inner world is something that even the most experienced travelers continue to learn. It is a lifelong lesson that grows richer with every experience. As the day turns to evening and the sky is painted with soft shades of pink and purple, you feel a quiet confidence in your heart. The light of the setting sun reflects on the water below the bridge, creating a shimmering path that seems to invite you forward. In that beautiful moment, you understand that every challenge you faced, every conflict you resolved, has prepared you for the future. You know that even when the world around you changes, the balance you have built inside will remain a steady guide. Now, take a moment to think about what you have learned on this part of your journey. You have seen that every choice, every time you listen to both your mind and your heart, has helped build a stronger, more resilient you. You have learned that balance is not about being perfect, but about growing and adapting. You have discovered that your inner conflict is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, because it is in those moments that you learn the most about who you are. Imagine yourself many years from now, looking back on the path you walked. You see a long, winding road filled with moments of joy, times of doubt, and many lessons learned. You remember the days when the bridge seemed uncertain, and you recall the moments when you found strength in the quiet places of your mind. In your heart, you know that every challenge was a stepping stone, every moment of hesitation a lesson in patience and courage. That vision fills you with hope for the future, a future where you continue to use the wisdom of your past to guide you toward new adventures. As you take your final steps on this bridge for now, you feel a sense of gratitude for all the experiences that have shaped you. You understand that the journey of integrating your logical thoughts with your deep emotions is one that will continue throughout your life. It is a journey that does not end with a single step or a single day, but one that evolves with you as you grow and change. Every day brings new opportunities to learn, new chances to listen to both sides of yourself, and new ways to build the beautiful bridge that carries you forward. Before you leave this part of the journey, you decide to share one last thought with yourself. That balance is a gift. It is a gift that allows you to see the world in full color, to make decisions that are both wise and kind, and to live a life that is rich with meaning. With each step you take, you add to that gift, growing ever more capable of understanding the many voices within you. You know that there will be more challenges ahead, and that sometimes the path may seem rough or uncertain. But you also know that you have the power to navigate that path with grace, thanks to the strong foundation you have built on this journey. As the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky above, you stand for a moment on the bridge and look back at all the planks you have laid down, each one a memory, each one a lesson. In that quiet reflection, you feel a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. You know that the bridge is not just a structure. It is a part of you, built with care, persistence, and a willingness to listen to every part of your being. In the soft glow of the moonlight, you promise yourself that you will always cherish the balance you have worked so hard to achieve. You promise to keep learning from every conflict, to always be open to both the clear light of logic and the gentle warmth of emotion. And as you take one last look at the beautiful valley below, you step off the bridge with a confident smile, ready to embrace the next chapter of your journey. May this part of your journey remind you that every decision you make, every challenge you face, and every moment of inner reflection is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. Keep building, keep growing, and always remember that the harmony between your mind and your heart is a treasure that will guide you through all of life's adventures. A look inside the brain, the science behind thought and feeling. Imagine waking up to a bright new day and stepping out into a world that is both familiar and full of possibilities. As you begin your day, think of your mind as a garden that you have been tending for a long time. In this garden, every flower represents a thought or an idea, and every tree stands for a feeling or an emotion. Over the years, you have learned to water the flowers with knowledge and nurture the trees with experience. Now, you are ready to build something even more magnificent, a pathway that connects every corner of your inner world and helps guide you into a balanced tomorrow. As you walk along this newly built path, you notice that it is not a straight road, but a winding trail that stretches into a beautiful horizon. Along this trail, you encounter moments of gentle sunlight and occasional patches of shade. The sunlight reminds you of the clarity that comes from logical thinking, while the shade speaks of the depth and nuance found in your feelings. This trail is your future, a path that is shaped by every decision you make, where each step is a chance to use both your head and your heart. Take a moment to imagine that you are standing at the beginning of this trail, with the promise of a bright future unfolding before you. In your hand, you hold a small, glowing compass. This compass does not point north, but instead shows you the direction of your inner truth. Its needle moves gently between 2 points, one labeled logic and the other labeled emotion. First, the needle might seem to waver or spin as it tries to decide which way to point. But with time and reflection, you learn that it is not about choosing one over the other. Rather, it is about listening to both and letting them guide you together. Remember a time when you had to make a big decision, perhaps choosing a school project, deciding whether to join a new club, or even thinking about your future career. In those moments, you might have felt torn. Your mind might have listed the pros and cons, the practical reasons for one choice, while your heart whispered dreams and hopes for another. At that very moment, your inner compass was working, even if you did not fully understand it yet. You learned that by taking a deep breath, pausing for a moment, and writing down your thoughts and feelings, you could slowly align the needle toward a direction that honored both sides of you. This process is like mixing two colors to create a new, vibrant hue that is richer than either color on its own. As you continue your walk on this trail, you come upon a gentle stream that flows alongside the path. The water sparkles in the sunlight, and you can see smooth stones at the bottom, each stone representing a memory or a lesson learned from past experiences. Some stones are polished and bright, reminding you of moments when everything fell perfectly into place. Others are rough and unpolished, symbols of times when you struggled or felt uncertain. This stream teaches you that every experience, whether smooth or bumpy, contributes to the flow of your life. It also shows you that the water does not stop for any stone. It simply flows around, integrating every obstacle into its journey. In much the same way, your future is built by letting every thought, every emotion, and every memory merge into a single, continuous current that carries you forward. Imagine that as you walk along the trail, you pass a series of small bridges that span little creeks crossing the path. Each bridge you cross represents a challenge you have overcome, a time when you balanced the competing demands of your logical mind and your emotional heart. Perhaps there was a day when you had to decide whether to work on a challenging assignment or to help a friend in need. Each of those decisions was like stepping onto a bridge. Sometimes the bridge was sturdy and easy to cross. Other times, it wobbled under your feet, making you pause and steady yourself. But with each bridge you cross, you grow more confident, learning that the art of balancing is not about perfection but about perseverance and growth. On this journey toward a balanced future, you might also meet other travelers along the way. Imagine sitting around a cozy campfire with friends, family, or even mentors who share their own stories of finding balance. One friend might tell you about a time when they almost gave up on a dream because they were too afraid to mix logic with emotion. Another might share how a simple act of kindness changed the course of their day, reminding them that sometimes the heart needs to lead. These shared stories, told in simple yet profound words, create a tapestry of experience that you can learn from. They remind you that you are never alone on this path, that everyone is learning, growing, and sometimes stumbling, just like you. As the day turns to afternoon, the path becomes lined with tall trees that offer shade and a cool breeze. Underneath these trees, you might find a quiet spot to rest and reflect. Sitting on a soft patch of grass, you take out your journal, the same one in which you record your inner thoughts and dreams. With a pencil in your hand, you write about the journey so far, about the choices you have made, and about the moments when you felt that delicate balance between your head and your heart. Each word you write is like a seed planted in the soil of your mind, destined to grow into a lesson or a memory that will guide you in the future. This act of writing, though it may seem simple, is a powerful tool. It allows you to look back and see how far you have come, and it helps you understand that every step, every moment of doubt or certainty, is part of your personal adventure. Imagine that the trail ahead begins to climb upward, toward a hill that promises a breathtaking view of the entire valley below. As you ascend, you feel the effort of each step, and you know that the climb is not always easy. Sometimes, your legs might feel heavy, and your heart might beat faster with the strain. But with every step upward, you also feel yourself growing stronger and more resilient. The climb is a reminder that the journey toward balance is filled with challenges, but these challenges are the very things that build your strength. When you reach the top of the hill, you pause for a moment to look around. The view is vast and beautiful. The valley, the stream, the bridges, and the winding trail all spread out before you like a magnificent map of your life. In that moment, you realize that every challenge you faced, every decision you made, has led you to this point of clarity and understanding. From this high vantage point, you see that the future is not something distant or abstract. It is being built with every decision you make today. The balance you have been learning to achieve is the foundation for all your future endeavors. Whether you dream of pursuing a passion, starting a new adventure, or helping others along their journey, this balanced approach will be your guiding light. It teaches you that success is not measured solely by logic or emotion alone, but by the harmonious integration of both. It shows you that a life lived in full awareness of every thought and feeling is a life rich in possibility and beauty. As you begin to descend from the hill, carrying with you the insights from the climb, you start to see signs of the future all around you. The trees seem to whisper promises of new beginnings, and the gentle murmur of the stream speaks of continuity and renewal. In the distance, you notice a shimmering light, a sign of hope and potential. This light is like the promise of tomorrow, a reminder that the journey toward a balanced future is ongoing and full of wonder. It invites you to keep exploring, to keep building your inner bridge, and to trust in the process of growth. In your heart, you know that the path ahead will continue to offer both challenges and triumphs. There will be days when the balance is nearly perfect, and other days when the scales tip too far in one direction. But every experience, every moment of uncertainty, is an opportunity to learn and to refine the art of integration. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until eventually the melody flows effortlessly from your fingers. So too, with time and practice, the dance between logic and emotion will become a natural rhythm that guides you through life. Imagine that you are now approaching a grand archway at the end of this part of your journey. This archway is adorned with carvings that tell the story of countless travelers who have walked the path before you, stories of struggle, of hope, and of triumph. As you step through the archway, you feel a deep sense of purpose and resolve. You realize that the lessons you have learned on this trail are not just for you alone. They are gifts that you can share with others. The wisdom of balancing your thoughts and feelings can light the way for friends, family, and even strangers who may be struggling to find their own path. With this realization, you resolve to be a beacon of kindness and understanding, to help others build their own bridges to a balanced future. As you continue along the path beyond the archway, you notice that the scenery becomes even more inspiring. The air is filled with a sense of possibility, and the horizon stretches wide, inviting you to explore new territories, both in the world outside and within your own mind. Every step you take reinforces your belief that the integration of logic and emotion is not only possible but essential for living a life of purpose and fulfillment. It is like discovering that every day holds a secret treasure, a moment when everything aligns, and you feel completely at peace with who you are and where you are going. In this part of the journey, you begin to imagine the future not as a series of isolated moments, but as a continuous flow, a river that carries you forward through time. This river is fed by all the small decisions you make, the gentle acts of kindness, the thoughtful pauses, the moments when you choose to listen to both your head and your heart. Over time, these decisions create a current that is strong and steady, one that can guide you through even the most turbulent times. You learn that the future is not fixed or predetermined. It is something you create with each step you take, with each choice you make, and with every reflection that deepens your understanding of yourself. As the day draws to a close, you find a quiet spot on the side of the path where you can sit and watch the sky change from gold to deep blue. In this peaceful moment, you allow yourself to reflect on all the lessons you have learned. You think about the bridges you have crossed, the streams you have observed, and the gentle guidance of your inner compass. You realize that while the journey toward a balanced future is long and sometimes challenging, it is also filled with beauty and wonder. The simple act of balancing logic and emotion has transformed your inner landscape, making it richer, deeper, and more vibrant than ever before. Before you continue on your journey, you take a final look at the path behind you, a path marked by moments of struggle and triumph, by lessons learned and bridges built. With gratitude in your heart, you set your eyes on the road ahead, ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities await. You know that every new day is a chance to build on the wisdom you have gathered, to make decisions that honor both your mind and your heart, and to step confidently into the future. As you stand at the threshold of this new chapter, you feel the gentle hum of your inner compass guiding you forward. The balanced integration of your logical and emotional selves is no longer a distant goal but a living, breathing part of who you are. It is the foundation upon which you will build your dreams, the light that will guide you through darkness, and the strength that will carry you through every trial. You understand that the true beauty of life lies in its complexity, that every challenge, every moment of inner conflict, is a chance to grow, to learn, and to become more whole. Now, as the soft glow of twilight fills the sky, you whisper a quiet promise to yourself, to keep walking, to keep balancing, and to keep believing in the power of a united mind and heart. With each step on this path, you are not just moving forward, you are evolving, becoming ever more resilient and wise. And while you know that there will be more bridges to cross, more storms to weather, and more choices to make, you are ready. For you have learned that even the most difficult decisions can lead to extraordinary growth, and that within you lies the strength to build a future that is as balanced as it is bright. Take one last deep breath now, and let the cool night air fill your lungs. Feel the calm assurance that comes from knowing that you have laid a solid foundation for tomorrow. With your inner compass steady and your heart filled with hope, you step confidently forward into the unfolding mystery of the future, ready to embrace the next chapter in your journey of integration and growth. Imagine waking up on a cool, clear morning with the gentle light of the sun peeking through your window. Do you stretch? Take a deep breath and step outside into a world full of promise. Today, as you begin to face the challenges of life, you carry with you the strong bridge you built earlier, a bridge that connects the clear, steady side of your mind with the warm, vibrant side of your heart. In this part of our journey, we will explore how this balance helps you navigate difficult days, make wise choices, and grow into the person you dream of becoming. As you walk along the winding path that leads through a quiet neighborhood, you notice that every step you take is like a small act of courage. The path is not always straight or smooth. Sometimes it twists, turns, and even has a few bumps along the way. Yet, you know that each bump is not a sign of failure but a chance to learn and improve. Just like when you ride a bicycle on a bumpy road, you might wobble a little at first, but with practice, you find your balance and ride smoothly again. In the same way, when your logical thoughts and your emotional feelings seem to pull you in different directions, you learn to pause, breathe, and choose a step that honors both parts of you. There are many times in life when you might feel confused or uncertain. Imagine a day at school when you have a big test and also want to spend time with your friends. Your mind tells you that studying is important, while your heart whispers that playing and laughing with friends makes you feel alive. That tug-of-war can make you feel as if you are standing on a narrow bridge over a deep river. But even on that narrow bridge, you have the strength to move forward, carefully placing one foot in front of the other. Every decision you make on that bridge, whether to study a little longer or to take a short break with friends, is a step toward learning how to manage both your responsibilities and your joys. Let's think about a story. Imagine a girl named Emma who loves both art and science. In class, Emma is known for solving math problems quickly and for drawing beautiful pictures during free time. One day, her teacher announced a project where students had to choose a topic and present it to the class. Emma felt torn. Her logical side, filled with facts and figures, said that she should choose a topic in science because that was where she excelled. But her emotional side, full of creative dreams and colorful ideas, whispered that she should pick something that allowed her to paint and draw. For a long while, Emma felt that her mind was divided, as if two voices were competing inside her. Finally, Emma decided to combine the two by choosing a project on the science of color. She learned about light, wavelengths, and the way our eyes see colors, and then she painted a series of pictures to show what she had discovered. Emma's project was a huge success because she did not let her mind and heart work separately. Instead, she made them work together, and her balanced choice turned out to be better than if she had chosen one side over the other. Every day, you face choices that seem small but have a big impact on how you grow. Maybe you decide whether to do your homework right away or to delay it until later. Perhaps you choose whether to speak up when you see someone being treated unfairly. These choices, even if they seem tiny, are like the individual brushstrokes in a giant painting. Some strokes are light and quick, while others are deep and careful. When you step back and look at the whole painting, you see that every stroke matters. Your ability to mix your logical planning with your caring feelings creates a picture of your life that is full of depth and color. Sometimes, the challenges you face can feel overwhelming, like a dark storm that suddenly appears. Imagine you are playing outside and dark clouds roll in unexpectedly. First, you might feel scared because the wind howls and the rain begins to fall. In those moments, you might remember that you have an umbrella with you, a tool that helps protect you from the storm. In life, your inner balance is like that umbrella. It helps shield you from the harshness of confusion and doubt by reminding you that you have both reason and emotion working together. Even when the storm seems fierce, you can take shelter by stopping for a moment, breathing deeply, and listening to the quiet voice inside that tells you, you will be okay. Take your time. Imagine sitting quietly under a big, old tree after the storm has passed. The leaves glisten with raindrops, and the ground is soft with fresh water. In that peaceful moment, you feel that the air is clear again, and you can see a rainbow in the distance. The rainbow is a sign of hope and a promise that after every storm, there is a new beginning. In your life, when you face challenges that shake your balance, you will often find that after a period of difficulty, you emerge stronger and wiser. The lessons learned during those tough times become a part of your inner strength, like the sturdy roots of the tree that keep it grounded no matter how fierce the wind blows. As you continue to move forward, there are times when you will have to make decisions that affect not just you but also the people around you. Think about a situation where a friend is upset because of a misunderstanding. You might feel a tug between wanting to solve the problem logically by explaining what happened and wanting to comfort your friend with warm, caring words. In that moment, the balance you have learned to maintain becomes very important. You choose to listen carefully to your friend's feelings, understand their point of view, and then calmly explain your side of the story. By doing so, you help bring harmony to the situation. This is a perfect example of how a balanced mind and heart can lead to choices that heal and build trust among people. In the years ahead, you will face many more moments when you must decide between different paths. Some choices may seem to pull you towards safety and routine, while others may tempt you with the promise of adventure and change. It is natural to feel a little scared when stepping into the unknown. However, remember that every choice you make is an opportunity to learn. Just like a seed needs to break through the soil to grow into a tall tree, you too must sometimes take a leap of faith. When you do, you bring together the clear, careful planning of your mind with the passionate, brave energy of your heart. This blend gives you the strength to try new things, even when the outcome is uncertain. Imagine you are learning to ride a skateboard on a smooth pavement. First, you might fall a few times, and your hands may scrape against the pavement. But with every fall, you learn a little more about balance and control. You discover how to lean a bit more, how to keep your eyes on where you want to go, and how to get back up when you stumble. Your logical mind helps you remember the rules of safety and technique, while your emotional heart encourages you to keep trying and to enjoy the thrill of the ride. In time, you glide along the path with confidence. This experience shows that even if you face setbacks, each fall is a chance to build resilience. With persistence and a balanced approach, you learn to move forward with grace and determination. Let's think about a time when you had to work on a group project. In such projects, you might have many ideas bouncing around, and sometimes, your teammates may not agree on the best plan. Imagine that you are the one who listens carefully to everyone's suggestions. Some ideas are very logical and detailed, while others are creative and filled with emotion. Instead of choosing just one idea, you work to combine the best parts of each. By doing this, you create a project that is not only smart and well organized but also full of creativity and heart. This act of collaboration is like weaving together different threads to make a strong and beautiful tapestry. It shows that when you bring together the strengths of both your head and your heart, the result can be greater than the sum of its parts. There will be moments when life feels confusing and the choices seem endless. Perhaps you face a decision about what you want to do when you grow up, or you find yourself wondering how to balance your hobbies with your responsibilities. In these times, it helps to remember that every decision is part of a larger journey. There is no single right answer that fits every moment. Instead, each choice is a stepping stone that guides you toward discovering your true self. When you take the time to listen to both your logical thoughts and your emotional feelings, you open the door to creativity and wisdom. This balanced approach is not only helpful in making decisions but also in understanding your own dreams and aspirations. Imagine a classroom where the teacher asks everyone to share a story about a time they overcame a difficult challenge. As each person speaks, you realize that even though their stories are different, some are about academic struggles, others about personal loss, and still others about learning a new skill, they all have one thing in common. Each story is filled with moments of conflict, choices made with both the mind and the heart, and, in the end, triumph. These stories become like a mosaic, where each small piece fits together to form a picture of strength, courage, and growth. This mosaic reminds you that your own journey is part of a larger human story, a story of people who learn to balance their thoughts and feelings in order to overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams. As you walk along this path into the future, think of each day as a new canvas on which you can paint your experiences. Some days, the colors may be bright and cheerful. Other days, they might be soft and somber. But every day, you have the chance to create something unique. By mixing the steady, thoughtful colors of logic with the bold, expressive colors of emotion, you produce a painting that tells the story of your life. This painting is never finished. It grows richer and more complex with each new experience, each challenge faced, and each moment of joy or sorrow. And over time, you learn that every color, every brushstroke, is important in showing who you truly are. There will be times when you feel that your heart is too heavy with sadness or that your mind is clouded with worry. In these moments, it can be very helpful to take a break and do something kind for yourself. Maybe you sit quietly in a park and listen to the sound of birds, or perhaps you write down your thoughts in a journal. These moments of self-care are like little rests on the long journey of life. They help you regain your balance, remind you that it is okay to pause, and give you the strength to move forward again. By learning to care for yourself in this way, you build a reserve of energy and hope that will support you through even the toughest challenges. Think about the power of small, kind actions. Even on days when you feel overwhelmed, or a simple act of generosity can make a big difference, not only in someone else's life but in your own heart. These moments of kindness are like gentle rays of sunlight breaking through the clouds, warming you from the inside out. They show you that balance is not just about making big decisions. It is also about appreciating the little things that make life beautiful. Every kind act reinforces the idea that your logical side and your emotional side can work together to create a life filled with warmth and light. Imagine now that you are at the edge of a calm lake as the evening draws near. The surface of the lake is smooth, reflecting the deep blue of the sky and the twinkling of distant stars. In this tranquil moment, you sit by the water's edge and reflect on all that you have learned about balance. The lake reminds you that even though the surface may seem still, there are depths beneath that hold many mysteries and treasures. Just like the lake, your inner world is full of layers, some that are immediately visible and others that require time and patience to explore. As you watch the reflections ripple gently across the water, you understand that the journey of balance is ongoing. It is a process of constant learning, a path that you walk day by day, sometimes slowly, sometimes with great joy. In the soft glow of twilight, you begin to see that the challenges you face are not obstacles but opportunities. Each time you encounter a difficult decision or a moment of doubt, you are given a chance to learn something new about yourself. These opportunities help you become more resilient, more understanding, and more compassionate. They teach you that even when life seems hard, you have the inner strength to find a way forward. Your balanced mind and heart are like two loyal friends who stand by you, supporting you through every twist and turn. With every challenge met, you grow a little taller, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for the future. There will be days when you look back on this journey and realize that the moments of struggle were the very moments that shaped you into the person you are today. You begin to see that every time you balanced a difficult choice, every time you took a deep breath and listened to both your thoughts and your feelings, you were building a future that is rich in meaning and purpose. The lessons you learn on this journey become a part of you, like the steady beat of a drum that keeps you moving forward, even when the road is long and uncertain. As you continue to navigate life's challenges, remember that you are never alone. Look around you and you will see that every person, no matter how grown-up they seem, has faced similar struggles. The two have built bridges between their logical minds and their emotional hearts. By sharing your journey with others, whether through a kind conversation, a shared smile, or a simple gesture of understanding, you help create a world where everyone can learn to balance their inner voices. In this way, your own journey becomes part of a larger, collective story of growth and hope. Imagine the future as a vast, open field under a sky filled with endless possibilities. In this field, every step you take leaves a mark, a reminder that you are moving forward, learning, and growing. The field is a place of both challenge and beauty, where the seeds you plant today will grow into the strong trees and bright flowers of tomorrow. As you walk through this field, keep your eyes open for the signs of your own progress. Each day, you add a new layer to the wonderful picture of your life, one that blends the clarity of your thoughts with the richness of your feelings. Now, as the night falls and the first stars begin to appear, you find a quiet spot to rest. Under the gentle light of the moon, you reflect on the journey you have taken, on all the bridges built, all the streams crossed, and all the lessons learned. In this peaceful moment, you feel a deep sense of gratitude for every challenge, every victory, and every opportunity to grow. You know that the balance you have worked so hard to achieve is not a destination but a lifelong practice, A beautiful dance between your mind and your heart that will continue to guide you through every chapter of your life. Take one final deep breath and feel the cool night air fill your lungs. As you exhale, let go of any worries or doubts that might still linger. You are strong, you are capable, and you have learned that true wisdom comes from embracing every part of who you are. With this calm certainty, you close your eyes for a moment, feeling the steady beat of your heart and the clear thoughts of your mind coming together in perfect harmony. Before you drift off to sleep, imagine that you are writing a letter to your future self. In this letter, you remind yourself of all the lessons learned on this journey, the importance of balance, the value of every small decision, and the strength that comes from listening to both your head and your heart. You promise yourself that no matter what challenges come, you will always remember that you are the architect of your own life, building a future with every thoughtful step. This promise is a gift to yourself, a reminder that every day is a new chance to grow, to learn, and to create a life that reflects the best parts of you. As you finally lie down and let the gentle rhythm of the night lull you into a peaceful sleep, you carry with you the wisdom of your balanced journey. You know that tomorrow is another day, a new canvas on which you will paint with both logic and emotion. And as you rest, you dream of a future that is bright, hopeful, and filled with endless possibilities. In your dreams, the voices of your mind and heart sing together in a beautiful harmony, guiding you toward a life that is as balanced as it is joyful. May this balanced journey continue to inspire you, and may you always have the courage to face life's challenges with both a clear mind and an open heart. Remember that every decision, every moment of uncertainty, and every act of kindness contributes to the wonderful mosaic of your life. Embracing the journey within, reflections and new horizons. Imagine waking up one crisp morning with the soft glow of dawn gently filling your room. You rise slowly, feeling both the calm of sleep and the spark of a new day. As you step outside, you realize that your journey is not just about moving forward along a well-worn path, it is also about exploring the inner landscape of your heart and mind. Today, you begin to embrace the journey within, where every thought and every feeling is a guide leading you to new horizons. In the quiet of the early morning, you find yourself walking along a narrow trail that winds through a peaceful forest. The ground is soft beneath your feet, and each step feels both familiar and full of promise. This trail represents your inner life, a path that you have been building over time with every decision, every moment of reflection, and every challenge you have met. Just as the forest has many trees, flowers, and hidden clearings, so does your inner world hold countless memories, dreams, and lessons waiting to be discovered. As you walk, you recall the many bridges you have built in your life, those moments when you learned to balance the clear, rational voice of your mind with the deep, warm whispers of your heart. You remember times when you felt torn between a logical plan and a creative impulse, when you had to decide whether to act out of duty or follow your inner passion. Each of those choices, whether easy or hard, has added a plank to your inner bridge, making it stronger and more resilient. And now, standing on this quiet trail, you feel ready to look deeper inside yourself. Imagine that as you continue along the path, you come to a wide, open clearing bathed in gentle sunlight. In this clearing, you decide to sit on a smooth rock and take a few moments to reflect. You close your eyes and let your thoughts drift like leaves on a soft breeze. In that stillness, you begin to hear a gentle conversation between different parts of yourself. On one side, there is the voice of reason, and full of careful plans. On the other side, there is the voice of emotion, warm, and sometimes mysterious. You realize that these voices are not enemies. Rather, they are the two halves of your inner self, working together to help you grow. You remember a time when you felt a strong conflict, perhaps a day when you had to choose between a safe, predictable option and a bold, exciting challenge. At that moment, your mind might have listed all the reasons why the safe choice was best, facts, numbers, and rules, while your heart pulsed with the excitement of the unknown. In that conflict, you learned that neither side was completely right or wrong. They were simply different perspectives that, when united, could lead to a wiser decision. Sitting quietly in the clearing, you recognize that those moments of inner conflict were not setbacks but stepping stones toward becoming more whole. The trail ahead is soft with moss and dotted with wildflowers, each one a tiny burst of color in the green, living tapestry of the forest. These wildflowers remind you of the small, unexpected joys that brighten your days, moments of laughter with friends, the satisfaction of a hard-won success, or the simple pleasure of a quiet afternoon with a good book. Even though sometimes your responsibilities and worries may weigh on you, these little moments of beauty show you that life is full of surprises if you take the time to notice them. They are like gentle reminders that every experience, whether it is filled with logic or emotion, adds depth and color to your inner portrait. As you rise to continue your journey, you set off along a winding path that leads you toward a small stream. The water flows slowly over smooth stones, creating a soft, musical sound. You kneel by the stream and let your hand dip into the cool water, feeling its gentle current flow past your fingers. This stream is like the flow of your thoughts and feelings, sometimes calm, sometimes rushing, but always moving forward. You imagine that each ripple in the water represents a memory, a lesson, or a hope for the future. Some ripples are clear and bright, while others are murky and uncertain. Yet, all of them are part of the continuous current that shapes who you are. Looking into the stream, you see your own reflection, your face, full of wonder and determination, looking back at you. In that moment, you realize that the journey within is not just about understanding the world outside, but also about knowing yourself deeply. You think about the challenges you have faced, the decisions you have made, and the lessons you have learned along the way. Each experience has been like a stone in the stream, sometimes causing ripples, sometimes smoothing the flow. And just as the water adapts and finds its way around obstacles, so too have you learned to adapt, to change, and to keep moving forward. Your mind begins to wander back to the moments when you first built your inner bridge. You remember the times when you were unsure of which voice to trust, the clear, rational one or the gentle, intuitive one. Those moments of doubt were like fog on the path, making it hard to see where to go. But as the fog lifted, you discovered that the truth lies not in choosing one over the other, but in blending them. You recall a time when you had to make an important decision about a friendship. Your logical mind listed reasons for keeping a close circle of friends, while your heart longed for deeper, more meaningful connections. In that moment, you learned that it was possible to honor both the practical and the heartfelt sides of you. By reaching out to others with both kindness and careful thought, you discovered that true friendship could flourish even in difficult circumstances. As you stand and gaze across the clearing, you notice a small, weathered signpost. The sign is old, with letters that have faded over time, yet its message remains clear: reflection, growth, and new horizons. You smile at the thought that your journey is one of constant evolution, where every day brings a chance to learn something new about yourself. The signpost reminds you that while the path may twist and turn, it always leads forward toward a future filled with potential. With a sense of quiet resolve, you decide to continue walking, knowing that every step is both an act of discovery and a promise to yourself. The path leads you next into a grove of tall, ancient trees. Their trunks are thick and strong, their leaves whispering secrets in the wind. In this grove, the air feels cool and refreshing, as if time itself has slowed down to allow you a moment of deep reflection. You find a comfortable spot on a soft patch of grass beneath one of these majestic trees and sit down. As you settle in, you allow your mind to drift into a state of gentle meditation. In the silence, you begin to observe the interplay of your thoughts and feelings. You realize that sometimes your mind is like a busy classroom filled with lessons and ideas, while other times it is like a quiet library where you can read and reflect at your own pace. In that quiet moment, you remember that every challenge you have faced, every decision that once felt overwhelming, has contributed to the person you are today. You think of the many crossroads, the small moments of inner debate, and the times when you had to choose between a safe path and an uncertain adventure. Each of these experiences has been like a brushstroke on a vast canvas, creating a picture that is uniquely yours. And now, In this peaceful grove, you feel a deep sense of gratitude for every twist and turn in your journey. You recall the story of a friend who once told you, "Every challenge is an opportunity to learn." Those words echo in your mind as you reflect on the times when you stumbled, when you felt lost, and when you had to summon the courage to move forward despite the fear. In those moments, you learned that the most important lessons come not from easy victories, but from the struggles that force you to dig deep and find strength you never knew you had. You realize that your inner conflicts, those moments when your head and heart seemed to argue, were, in fact, the very catalyst for your growth. They pushed you to explore new ideas, to question old beliefs, and to discover the rich tapestry of your inner world. As the afternoon light softens and the grove grows quieter, you decide to write down your thoughts in your journal once more. With a pencil in hand, you begin to record your reflections, the gentle balance of logic and emotion, the challenges you have overcome, and the hopes that guide you toward a brighter future. Each word you write is like a seed that, when nurtured, will grow into a new understanding or a fresh idea. You write about the importance of embracing every part of yourself, even those parts that seem difficult or contradictory. For you have learned that true wisdom comes from accepting the full range of your human experience, the laughter and the tears, the calm and the storm, the plans and the dreams. In your journal, you also record small moments of kindness and beauty, the sound of birds singing in the treetops, the sight of a butterfly dancing on the breeze, the warmth of a smile shared with a friend. These small details remind you that even in the midst of life's challenges, there is always something gentle and good to hold on to. They are like little sparks of light that guide you through darkness, reminding you that every day brings new opportunities to learn, to live, and to grow. As evening begins to settle in and the sky changes its hue from blue to soft shades of orange and pink, you rise from your spot in the grove. The cool air carries a whisper of nighttime, and you feel a sense of calm determination in your heart. You know that your journey within is far from over, that every day offers a new chance to build on the lessons you have learned. With each step, you become more confident in your ability to balance the clear light of your thoughts with the gentle glow of your feelings. Walking back along the familiar path, you notice how the forest seems to welcome you with open arms. The rustling leaves and the distant call of an owl feel like friendly reminders that nature itself is full of balance. You think about how the forest grows in cycles. The trees shed their leaves in the fall, only to be reborn in the spring. This natural rhythm mirrors your own inner cycle of challenge and renewal. Just as the forest finds balance in the changing seasons, so too do you learn to find balance within yourself as you grow and evolve. As you near the edge of the forest, the path opens up onto a wide, open field. In this field, you can see the soft glow of twilight beginning to settle over the horizon. The field is vast and full of promise, a blank canvas on which you can paint the next chapter of your life. You pause to look around and reflect on how far you have come. You think back on the days when the path seemed uncertain, when every decision felt like a heavy burden. And now, here in the open field, you feel light and hopeful, ready to embrace the future with the wisdom that comes from a well-traveled inner journey. In that moment, you feel a gentle stirring of new dreams. You imagine the many possibilities that await you, new challenges to overcome, new friendships to forge, and new ideas to explore. With each possibility, you recognize that your balanced approach is the key to unlocking them all. You have learned that the best way to face the future is not by relying solely on reason or solely on emotion, but by weaving them together into a tapestry of understanding and compassion. You stand in the field for a long while, letting the cool evening air wash over you. The sky above is sprinkled with the first twinkling stars, each one a reminder that even in the vastness of the universe, every little light has its place. Just as the stars come together to create beautiful constellations, your thoughts and feelings come together to form the unique pattern of your life. You feel both small and infinitely significant in that moment, aware that your inner journey is part of a larger, wonderful story that stretches far beyond the boundaries of the field. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind clear with understanding, you set off once more along the path that leads into the unknown. You carry with you the lessons of every step, the bridges built in times of conflict, the streams that reminded you of the flow of life, the groves of reflection, and the open fields of possibility. Every experience, every decision, every moment of quiet contemplation has prepared you for the challenges and wonders of tomorrow. As the night deepens and you finally find your way to a small, welcoming home at the edge of the field, you pause one last time to reflect on the journey so far. You remember that every day is a gift, a new chance to listen to both the clear logic of your mind and the tender insights of your heart. You know that while the future may sometimes seem uncertain, your inner strength and balance will guide you through every twist and turn. Before you settle down to rest, you take one final look at the starry sky above. You make a quiet promise to yourself to continue embracing every part of your inner journey, to honor both your thoughts and your feelings, and to face each new day with the same courage and wonder that has brought you this far. In that promise, you find comfort and the bright spark of a future filled with endless possibilities. And so, with a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, you close your eyes, ready to dream of new horizons and the many adventures that await. You know that tomorrow is another day to build on the wisdom of today, a day to step further along the path of self-discovery and growth, where every moment is a chance to create a life that is balanced, beautiful, and uniquely your own. Imagine that you are waking up on a fresh morning after a night of peaceful sleep. The world outside is quiet, and as you stretch and yawn, you feel a sense of calm and readiness. Today is another chance to walk further along your inner path, a path that you have been carefully building step by step. In the journey we have been on, you have learned that every thought and every feeling is like a small brick used to build a grand bridge that connects the clear light of reason with the warm glow of emotion. As you continue onward, you find yourself at a new crossroads, a place where you look forward with hope and determination, ready to chart a future built on the lessons you have learned. Standing at this new beginning, you notice that the path ahead is wide and inviting. The air is filled with the soft scent of blooming flowers, and the gentle sound of a nearby stream reminds you of the continuous flow of life. You know that the experiences of the past have taught you to see that every moment, whether filled with clarity or shadowed by doubt, is an essential part of who you are. With every step you take, you carry the wisdom of yesterday into the promise of tomorrow. In this new phase of your journey, you start to reflect on the meaning of all you have learned. Picture a beautiful garden that you have spent many days tending. In this garden, every flower represents a memory, a lesson, or an emotion that has helped shape you. Some flowers are bright and bold, memories of joyful laughter, moments of pride, and instances of clear, logical decisions. Other flowers are softer and more subtle, symbolizing times when your heart felt deep sadness, confusion, or even the quiet beauty of a gentle thought. Together, these flowers create a mosaic of colors that tells the story of your life. And just like a gardener who carefully waters each plant, you have learned that nurturing every part of yourself, both the logical and the emotional, is what makes your inner garden flourish. As you wander deeper into this garden of self-discovery, you find a long, winding path lined with smooth stones. Each stone along the path is like a stepping stone of wisdom gained from past challenges. Some stones are well polished by the gentle flow of time, while others are rough and remind you of moments when the journey was not easy. You kneel down and run your fingers over one particularly worn stone, remembering a time when you had to choose between an important responsibility and a heartfelt desire. In that moment, you felt torn, as if two forces were pulling you in opposite directions. But by taking a deep breath, reflecting, and patiently considering both sides, you learn to build a bridge between them. That stone, and every stone along the path, now stands as a reminder that every struggle and every triumph is a part of the tapestry of your life. You rise and continue walking, and soon you come across a small wooden bench nestled under a large, welcoming tree. The tree's branches are vast, offering both shade and comfort. You decide to sit for a while and let your thoughts settle like leaves gently falling from the branches. In this quiet moment, you remember the words of a wise friend who once said, "Every challenge is an opportunity to learn." The thought makes you smile, For you know that even when the path was rocky, each challenge was a chance to grow stronger and more understanding. In the soft rustle of the leaves, you hear the echoes of your own inner voice, urging you to trust in the process of learning and to look forward with hope. As you sit there, you begin to imagine what the future might hold. You see yourself many years from now, still walking this path, still learning, and still growing. In your mind's eye, you see a future where you have mastered the art of balancing your logical thoughts with your deep feelings. This future is not a faraway dream, but something you are actively building with each decision you make today. It is like a magnificent tapestry being woven thread by thread, a tapestry where every color, every pattern tells a story of perseverance, wisdom, and compassion. You think back to a time when you had to make a decision that felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. Perhaps it was a choice about which hobby to pursue or how to help a friend in need. At that moment, you felt the push and pull of your mind and heart, each offering its own advice. You might have felt frustrated because the pieces did not seem to fit easily. Yet, as time went on, you discovered that by patiently searching for the missing pieces and sometimes even reshaping them, the puzzle eventually came together. That experience taught you that the process of finding balance is sometimes slow, but every small effort adds up. You now see that each decision you make, each little act of listening to both your head and your heart, builds the larger picture of your future. Standing up from the bench, you continue along the path, feeling more determined than ever to chart your future with care and purpose. The sun begins to climb higher in the sky, casting golden light over the garden and illuminating every flower, every stone, and every leaf. You walk past a sparkling brook where the water dances and twirls over the rocks, creating a lively melody. The brook reminds you that life is always moving, always changing, and that each moment carries the potential for renewal. You decide to follow the brook for a while, letting its gentle flow guide you further into the landscape of your inner world. As you follow the stream, you come upon a small wooden bridge that arches gracefully over the water. This bridge is a symbol of transition. It marks the point where the past and the future meet. You pause at the entrance of the bridge, reflecting on all that you have learned from the journey so far. The memories of both hardship and joy converge here, creating a rich mosaic of experiences that have prepared you for what lies ahead. With a deep, steady breath, you step onto the bridge. Each step feels firm and sure, a testament to the strength you have built over time. Even though you know that challenges may still come, you feel confident in your ability to face them, knowing that every experience has made you more resilient. On the other side of the bridge, the landscape changes subtly. The garden opens up into a wide, open plain bathed in soft, welcoming light. You see a horizon that stretches far into the distance, a horizon filled with promise and new beginnings. The plain is dotted with wildflowers and tall grasses that sway gently in the breeze, each one a reminder that life is full of beauty and possibility. As you walk through the plain, you feel a sense of freedom and hope. Every step you take is a step toward a future where you continue to grow, where you continue to balance the wisdom of your mind with the tenderness of your heart. In this open space, you find a quiet spot to sit once more. You take out your journal, a trusted companion on your journey, and begin to write about your hopes for the future. You write about the dreams you hold in your heart, the lessons you have learned from your experiences, and the ways in which you plan to face the challenges that lie ahead. As your pen moves across the paper, you feel a deep connection to the person you are becoming, a person who values both reason and emotion, who understands that every decision is an opportunity to learn, and who believes in the power of balance to light the way forward. Your journal entries become a cherished record of your inner journey, a map that you can look back on whenever you need guidance. In your writing, you capture the essence of each moment, the quiet confidence after a hard-won victory, the soft comfort of a kind word, and the bright spark of inspiration that comes from a new idea. You write about the times when you felt uncertain and how those moments eventually led to clarity. Each page is filled with reflections that remind you that the future is not a distant dream but a living reality built on every thoughtful decision you make. As the day moves on, the sky begins to change, shifting from the bright light of afternoon to the warm hues of early evening. The plain now glows with soft colors, as if the world is gently preparing for rest. In this tranquil light, you sense that the journey ahead is both challenging and full of wonder. You remember that every challenge you have faced has helped you learn, and that every moment of uncertainty has taught you something valuable. The balance you have worked hard to achieve is not a final destination but a continuous process, a journey that will evolve as you grow and change. You take one last look at the wide plain, at the gentle hills in the distance, and at the horizon that seems to hold endless possibilities. With a heart full of hope and a mind enriched by your experiences, you rise and continue along the path. You feel ready to embrace the future with all its twists and turns, confident that the lessons of the past will guide you forward. The road ahead may sometimes be long and winding, but you now know that each step, no matter how small, is a vital part of your ongoing journey. In the cool, fading light of the evening, you reach a small clearing where a campfire has been lit by other travelers. You join them, and soon, you find yourself sharing stories and listening to the experiences of others who, like you, have walked a long road of self-discovery. Each person around the fire speaks of moments when they had to balance hard decisions with the call of their hearts. Their voices, filled with honesty and hope, create a warm circle of support and understanding. In this gathering, you realize that the journey of finding balance is a shared human experience, a common thread that connects you with people of all ages and backgrounds. Their stories inspire you and remind you that while the path may be difficult at times, you are never truly alone. As the night deepens, you lie down under a vast, starry sky. The stars twinkle above, each one a tiny light of possibility in the dark expanse. You think about how the stars, though distant, shine together to form constellations, beautiful patterns that have guided travelers for centuries. In your mind, you see your own life as a constellation, each star representing a moment of learning, the choice made, a dream pursued. The soft glow of the stars fills you with a sense of wonder and humility. You know that even in the quiet darkness, there is a light that shines within you, a light born of both your logical thoughts and your heartfelt emotions. Before you drift into sleep, you reflect on the promise of tomorrow. You understand that each new day is a blank page, an opportunity to build on the wisdom you have gathered. The challenges of the past have prepared you for the journey ahead, and you are ready to step forward with courage and determination. You make a quiet promise to yourself to always seek balance, to listen to both the voice of reason and the whisper of your heart, and to trust that every decision, however small, will help shape a future that is rich with possibility. In the soft silence of the night, as you finally close your eyes, you feel a deep sense of peace. The journey of inner discovery is far from over. It is an ever-unfolding adventure that continues with each breath, each thought, and each feeling. You know that as you sleep, your mind will rest and your heart will dream, and together they will prepare you for the new challenges and joys that the next day will bring. In your dreams, you see the future clearly, a life built on the steady foundation of balance, where every decision is a step toward a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. And so, with the gentle reassurance of the stars overhead and the soft murmur of the night around you, you surrender to a peaceful sleep. You carry with you the understanding that your journey within is a lifelong path, one that is marked by continuous learning, heartfelt connections, and the courage to face life with both wisdom and warmth. As you rest, the memories of today blend with the hopes for tomorrow, creating a rich tapestry of experiences that will guide you through every new day. May the lessons of this journey continue to light your way. Remember that every challenge you overcome, every moment you choose to balance your mind and your heart, builds the bridge to a future filled with promise. Hold on to that vision as you rise with the morning sun, ready to embrace all the wonders that life has in store. For within you lies the power to create a future that is as harmonious as it is vibrant, a future where logic and emotion dance together in perfect step, guiding you along a path of infinite discovery. Embracing life's journey, forging new paths with balance and courage. Sometimes, when I sit quietly and remember the winding road of my own life, I see a picture of a long, sunlit path leading through fields of green and forests of mystery. That path isn't always straight or predictable. It curves, dips, and rises like the soft hills in the distance. Today, as you set out on your own journey, you might feel the excitement and the nervousness of forging new paths, just as I once did when I first stepped into the unknown. I remember a day when the morning air was cool and fresh, and I stepped outside with a heart full of hope. The sky was a gentle blue, and a light breeze played with the leaves on the trees. In that moment, I felt as if every step I took was a small victory, each one carrying me closer to the person I dreamed of becoming. You, too, might wake up feeling that quiet thrill, the sense that every decision you make adds a brick to the bridge connecting your past to your future. Not every step on this journey is easy. There are days when the path seems rugged, and the weight of choices presses hard on your shoulders. Consider a time when you had to choose between doing something safe and predictable or taking a risk that filled you with both excitement and fear. In my own life, I have faced such moments, and I found that those challenges, though daunting at first, were the very ones that taught me the most about my inner strength. You might recall a similar moment, when your mind was filled with questions and your heart beat faster as you weighed your options. It is in those moments of uncertainty that the true art of balance is born. Let's take a pause now to explore the beauty of nature as a metaphor for your journey. Picture a vast garden where every plant, flower, and tree represents a part of your inner world. Some flowers bloom brightly, symbolizing your joyful thoughts and clear ideas. Others open slowly, reflecting the deep, sometimes hidden feelings you carry with you. This garden is nurtured by both the warmth of the sun, representing the clear light of logic, and the gentle, nourishing rain, which mirrors your tender emotions. In a well-tended garden, every element is needed, and together they create a vibrant tapestry of life. Much like that garden, your inner world thrives when you let reason and emotion work together, even if they sometimes speak in different voices. I once had a friend, Mia, who loved painting and math in equal measure. When asked to choose between joining an art club or the math team, Mia felt torn between two worlds. Instead of choosing one, she found a way to blend her interests by designing creative math puzzles and colorful charts. Her success was not because she abandoned one side of herself, but because she allowed her logical mind and her creative heart to merge into something new and unique. Her story reminds us that balance is not about compromise or giving up a part of who you are. It's about weaving your diverse talents into a rich, unified whole. At times, life may feel like a bustling market where voices call out in unison, each representing a different part of your thoughts and emotions. In that busy place, you might feel overwhelmed by the noise. Yet, if you take a moment to focus on one friendly vendor, a kind word here, a thoughtful idea there, you begin to understand that each voice has its own value. Over time, you learn to listen carefully, so that your inner conversation becomes a gentle dialogue rather than a chaotic shout. This process of listening to yourself is like tuning a musical instrument until its notes harmonize perfectly. When your thoughts and feelings sing in tune, you experience a kind of inner peace that lights the way forward. Some mornings, you might wake up feeling especially unsure of which path to follow. Perhaps the world outside seems too big, or the decisions you face seem too heavy. On those mornings, it can help to sit quietly with a warm cup of tea or a favorite snack, and simply breathe. In that stillness, allow yourself to remember that every step, no matter how small, is part of a larger journey. Each decision you make today is a seed planted for tomorrow. Even if the seed doesn't seem to sprout right away, trust that, with time, it will grow into something strong and beautiful. I like to think of life as a long conversation between your head and your heart. Sometimes, the conversation is lively and full of ideas. At other times, it's quiet and reflective. One day, I once sat on a park bench watching children play, and I marveled at how naturally they blended fun with learning. They might solve a simple puzzle while laughing, or share a secret with a friend with both logic and emotion intertwined. Their laughter was the sound of balance, a balance that grows with each moment of joyful discovery. You, too, are capable of such harmony. Even if you sometimes feel like your mind is filled with conflicting messages, know that these differences are simply parts of a whole, each contributing to your unique melody. Not every chapter of your journey will be bright with sunshine. There will be afternoons when clouds gather and shadows fall, when the path becomes difficult to see. I recall a time when a storm rolled in suddenly during a hike, and I had to pause under a sheltering tree. In that pause, I realized that even the storm had its purpose. It refreshed the earth and cleared away the old, making way for new growth. In your life, moments of struggle can be the very times that lead to deeper understanding and resilience. When you find yourself facing dark times, remember that these challenges, too, will pass, and you will emerge with new wisdom. Sometimes, a chance encounter can change your perspective. A kind word from a stranger, a shared smile with someone on the bus, or a brief conversation with an old friend can remind you that you are not alone on this journey. I once met a man on a train who told me that every difficult choice he faced taught him something he wouldn't have learned otherwise. His words resonated deeply with me, and I realized that every obstacle is a teacher. Your challenges, whether large or small, are there to help you learn, to help you grow, and to show you that the road to a balanced future is paved with every experience you endure. Imagine standing at a crossroads where several paths diverge. Each path represents a different direction you might take. One path might be lined with the steady certainty of routine, while another might beckon with the promise of unexpected adventures. Standing there, you might feel a flutter of both excitement and apprehension. I've often found that the best decisions are made not by choosing the easiest path, but by choosing the one that challenges you to become a better version of yourself. It is in the act of choosing, and sometimes even in the act of being uncertain, that you truly learn who you are. The future, as you envision it, is not a distant, abstract idea, but something you create with each breath and every step. Think of your life as a grand mosaic, where every choice, every emotion, and every thought is a colorful tile. Some tiles are bright and bold, while others are soft and subtle. Each tile tells a small story, but together, they create a masterpiece that is uniquely yours. As you lay down each new tile with care, you add to the beauty of your mosaic. There will be moments when a tile doesn't fit quite right, and that's okay. It only makes the overall picture more interesting, more real, and more reflective of the journey you have taken. I often wonder about the dreams we hold quietly inside us, those little wishes that seem too delicate to speak aloud. Perhaps you have a dream of traveling to far-off lands, writing a story, or simply making the world a kinder place. These dreams are like tiny lights flickering in the distance. They may not be as loud as the practical plans of everyday life, but they are just as important. Over time, as you learn to balance your logical decisions with the gentle pull of your dreams, those lights grow brighter and guide you to places you never imagined. The courage to follow your heart, even when it doesn't seem practical at first, is one of the most human things you can do. It shows that you believe in the possibility of something greater, a future built on hope, passion, and kindness. In the midst of these reflections, it's important to remember that you are always growing. Each day is a lesson, each moment a chance to become more balanced, more aware, and more loving. There are no shortcuts on this path, only the steady, sometimes challenging work of understanding yourself. Like learning a new instrument or mastering a sport, the journey of self-discovery takes time, patience, and persistence. And every day, whether filled with triumphs or setbacks, is a valuable part of your personal symphony. There are moments when you might feel overwhelmed by the weight of decisions and the vastness of possibilities. In those times, I suggest finding a quiet place, a favorite corner of your home, a park bench in a peaceful garden, or even a sunny spot by the window, and simply sitting with your thoughts. Allow yourself to breathe deeply, as if you are drawing in the strength of the earth and exhaling any worries. In those moments, you can remind yourself that every step you take, no matter how small, is part of your forward journey. It is the accumulation of these small, mindful steps that eventually leads to great change. A gentle smile might cross your face as you recall a particular day when things didn't go as planned, yet you discovered something wonderful about yourself. Perhaps you tried a new hobby, made a new friend, or even learned from a mistake. Each of these experiences is like a stepping stone across a river, guiding you from one bank to the other. And while the stones might sometimes be slippery or uneven, they are there to help you cross safely. You learn that even when you stumble, you have the power to get back up and continue, stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. I once sat with an elderly neighbor who shared stories of her youth, stories filled with both joy and sorrow, success and struggle. Her words were gentle and wise, and they painted a picture of a life lived fully and with balance. Listening to her, I learned that every wrinkle and every laugh line was a mark of the battles she had fought and the love she had shared. Her life was not perfect, but it was rich in experience and depth. In that conversation, I felt a profound connection to the idea that a balanced life is not about avoiding difficulties, but about embracing them and growing through them. Her story, like so many others, serves as a reminder that every chapter of your life has value and meaning. As the day gradually turns to evening, the landscape around you begins to change in subtle, beautiful ways. The warm light softens, and shadows stretch gently across the ground. You might feel a calm introspection as you watch the sky shift its colors from bright blue to shades of orange. And finally, deep indigo. This transition is a natural part of life, the ending of one day and the promise of another. In these quiet moments, you sense that your inner journey is ever-changing. You learn that balance is not a fixed state but a dance, a continuous ebb and flow between the rational and the emotional, the known and the unknown. Before long, you find yourself at the doorstep of a small, welcoming home, where friends and family gather to share their day's stories. Stepping inside, you are greeted with warmth, laughter, and a sense of belonging. In these moments, you see that the balance you have been nurturing is not just an inner quality but a way of connecting with others. When you carry the harmony of your mind and heart into your relationships, you create bonds that are deep, compassionate, and real. It is through these human connections that the lessons of your journey extend beyond yourself, touching the lives of those around you. Later that night, as you settle down in your own quiet space, you open your journal once again. You write about the day's experiences, the gentle challenges, the unexpected moments of joy, and the reflections that helped you see the future a little more clearly. Your pen dances across the paper, capturing thoughts and feelings that might have seemed fleeting but now take on a deeper significance. In these written words, you find both comfort and clarity, as if you are speaking with your own soul. Each entry in your journal is a reminder that every day is a new page in the story of your life, a story that is being written with the ink of both wisdom and love. In the soft, reflective hours of the night, you find that the world outside is quiet, yet your mind buzzes with the gentle echoes of the day. You might lie awake for a while, thinking about the path you have walked and the future that stretches ahead. In those moments, it is natural to wonder what challenges await and how you will meet them. Yet, deep inside, you know that the balance you have cultivated between clear thinking and heartfelt compassion will be your steadfast guide. Like the steady rhythm of a lullaby, this inner harmony soothes you, preparing you for the adventures that tomorrow will bring. Before you drift off to sleep, take a moment to reflect on all that you have experienced today. Remember that each small step, each thoughtful decision, has added to the beautiful mosaic of your life. The journey is not always easy, but it is filled with moments of wonder and growth that light the way forward. As you close your eyes, let your heart rest in the assurance that you are exactly where you need to be, learning and evolving with every breath. In the quiet dark, as dreams begin to weave their soft tapestry, you feel a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the strength you discovered in challenging moments, for the joy that comes from small acts of kindness, and for the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Your dreams carry the promise of new beginnings, a future where your inner light shines even brighter because you have embraced every part of your journey with courage and balance. With that gentle, hopeful feeling in your heart, you surrender to sleep, knowing that tomorrow is another day to build, to learn, and to forge new paths with the harmony of your mind and heart as your constant companions. The future is yours to shape, one thoughtful step at a time, And each step is a testament to your resilience and your unwavering belief in the power of balance. The journey continues, discovering inner strength and connection. When you wake in the early hours of a quiet morning, the gentle light spills through your window and you feel that subtle thrill of a new day beginning. I remember a time when I would sit by the window, watching as the sky turned from soft indigo to the delicate hues of dawn. In those moments, it felt as if the world was whispering secrets of hope and possibility. Today, you set out on a new chapter of your inner journey, a chapter in which you rediscover the deep connections within yourself and learn to merge all that you have become with all that you still might be. As you step outside, the cool morning air wraps around you like a comforting embrace. You take a slow, deep breath and feel that every cell in your body awakens with the promise of something new. The path before you is familiar yet always changing, a winding trail that meanders through fields, past babbling brooks, and beneath towering trees. Each step you take is filled with memories of past journeys and glimmers of future possibilities. There is a quiet strength in knowing that every moment has led you to this point, and every choice you have made has been a stepping stone on the way. I often think about how our lives are like a series of gentle, interwoven conversations between the clear voice of our minds and the soft, warm whisper of our hearts. In those early hours, when the world is still and the mind is uncluttered by the noise of the day, you can almost hear those inner voices speaking to you. Sometimes, they agree and sing together in perfect harmony, and other times, they murmur in soft discord. Yet, each sound is important. Every thought and feeling adds a color to the rich tapestry of who you are. I recall a day from my own life when I was faced with a decision that seemed too hard to make. I had planned carefully and knew what needed to be done, yet my heart was drawn to an unexpected opportunity, a chance to help a friend in need, to share a moment of compassion that would brighten someone's day. I stood at a crossroads, feeling as if I were pulled in two directions by equally strong forces. In that moment, I learned that the true art of living lies not in choosing one side over the other, but in blending them. I sat quietly for a long while, letting both voices be heard. Eventually, I found a way to act that honored both my duty and my empathy. That day, I discovered that the strength of our inner connections grows from our willingness to listen and adapt. As you begin walking along your path, notice how the world around you seems to echo the rhythm of your inner life. There are moments when the sun breaks through the clouds in a burst of golden light, and moments when a cool breeze brings a sense of calm after a long, warm day. Each change in the weather reminds you that life is in constant motion, a beautiful dance of light and shadow, warmth and coolness, joy and reflection. Even when the path seems steep or rocky, the journey continues, and each step you take builds the resilience of your spirit. Imagine that you come upon a quiet meadow. The grass is soft beneath your feet, and wildflowers of every shade, yellow, purple, red, and blue, sway gently in the breeze. The meadow seems to stretch on endlessly, and as you stand there, you feel a deep connection with nature. Each wildflower is like a small piece of your own inner garden, representing moments of happiness, periods of growth, and times when you've experienced both laughter and tears. In that meadow, you begin to understand that every part of your life, whether filled with light or touched by shadow, is essential in creating the full, vibrant picture of who you are. I remember a story about a friend named Sam who, like you, had dreams and responsibilities that sometimes pulled him apart. Sam loved solving puzzles and was very logical, yet he also had a deep passion for writing stories that stirred his heart. When Sam was faced with the decision of joining a robotics club or enrolling in a creative writing workshop, he felt as if his mind and heart were in conflict. For many days, he wrestled with the choice until he finally realized that the two parts of him were not in opposition. They were simply different expressions of the same desire to grow and learn. Sam eventually decided to pursue both, integrating his analytical skills with his creative impulses, and in doing so, he found that his work became richer and more meaningful. His story teaches you that the path to true fulfillment is paved with the courage to embrace all parts of yourself. As you continue your journey, think about the gentle stream that runs along the side of your path. The water flows over smooth, rounded stones, creating little ripples that shimmer in the sunlight. Sometimes, the water is clear and calm. At other times, it rushes over the stones with energy and life. This stream is a mirror of your inner flow, the steady stream of thoughts, memories, and emotions that shape your day-to-day experience. If you pause and listen, you might even hear the soft murmur of the water telling its own story. Like the stream, you learn that no matter how turbulent things may seem at one moment, there is always a way for life to flow onward, gathering strength and beauty along its course. On days when the path seems long or your steps feel heavy, find comfort in small moments of quiet reflection. Perhaps you sit on a weathered bench in a park, or under the shade of an old oak tree, and allow your mind to wander through the corridors of your memories. In those moments, you might recall a time when a gentle word or a kind gesture made all the difference. A moment when the blend of thoughtful reason and heartfelt emotion brought light to a dark situation. These memories are like guiding stars in the night sky, each one a reminder that you are never alone, and that every experience, no matter how challenging, contributes to your growth. There are times when you may feel as if the voices in your heart are too loud, drowning out the clear thoughts of your mind. In those moments, it can be very helpful to take a deep breath and focus on one small detail, a sound, the touch, that anchors you in the present. I once found that whenever I felt overwhelmed by my own emotions, I would close my eyes and concentrate on the sound of birds singing or the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind. Slowly, the noise would fade, and I would be left with a peaceful clarity. It is in these moments of mindful attention that you begin to understand that the true strength of your inner self lies in your ability to pause, reflect, and choose your next step with care. Sometimes, as you walk, you might notice that the landscape changes subtly. The familiar fields give way to a dense forest where the air feels cooler and the light softens. In that forest, the trees stand tall and quiet, their branches forming a protective canopy overhead. Walking along the forest path, you feel the rhythm of your footsteps sync with the quiet beat of your heart. In that deep silence, every sound seems magnified, the whisper of the wind, the distant call of a bird, the crunch of leaves beneath your feet. This change in scenery reminds you that life is full of transitions. Just as the forest and the open field each have their own unique beauty, so too do different phases of your life bring distinct lessons and gifts. Embrace these transitions, for they are the markers of your evolution, the evidence of your capacity to adapt and grow. At times, you might feel the weight of a decision pressing on you, as if you are carrying an invisible burden. I remember a day when I had to choose between continuing a familiar routine and stepping into a new opportunity that seemed both exciting and intimidating. The decision felt so heavy that I found myself pausing on a quiet footbridge, looking down at the gentle flow of the river below. In that moment, I realized that every choice comes with its own set of challenges and rewards, and that sometimes, the only way to move forward is to take a leap of faith. I took a deep breath, steadied my heart, and stepped off the bridge onto the new path. That day, I learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to face it with a balanced mind and a compassionate heart. As the day unfolds, you continue to encounter moments that test your resolve. Perhaps you face an unexpected challenge, a problem at school, a disagreement with a friend, or even a sudden change in plans. In these moments, it is important to remember that every obstacle is also an opportunity. An obstacle forces you to pause and reflect, to examine your inner strengths and the resources you have built over time. Just as a sculptor chips away at a block of stone to reveal a beautiful statue, so too do challenges refine and shape your character. With each challenge you overcome, you build a reservoir of inner strength that will carry you through future trials. I once met a wise teacher who told me that life is like a long, winding road with many unexpected turns. She said that sometimes, the most important lessons come not from the moments of triumph, but from the times when we are forced to slow down and listen to our inner voice. I took her words to heart, and over the years, I learned that every detour and every moment of uncertainty was an invitation to grow. When you find yourself at a crossroads, try to see the possibilities rather than the limitations. Ask yourself, What can I learn from this? How can I let my heart and mind work together to find a way forward? In that inquiry lies the seed of wisdom, a wisdom that will bloom in time. As the sun climbs higher in the sky and the day grows warm, you find yourself reflecting on the many conversations you've had with yourself along this journey. Sometimes, those conversations are lively and full of ideas, while at other times, they are soft and introspective. No matter the tone, each conversation is a step toward understanding your own unique rhythm, a rhythm that blends thoughtful planning with the spontaneous joy of living. You come to see that balance is not a fixed state but a dance, a continuous interplay of light and shadow, action and reflection. There are moments when you share your inner thoughts with a friend or a loved one, and in those moments, you discover that you are not alone in your struggles or your dreams. A kind word from someone who understands can be like a warm fire on a cold night, rekindling your strength and reminding you that your journey is shared by many. These shared moments of connection make the path seem less solitary and more like a winding trail along which many travelers walk side by side, each carrying their own hopes and burdens. On a particularly bright afternoon, I remember sitting by a lake with a group of friends. We talked for hours about our dreams, our fears, and the small victories that made our days brighter. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow on the water, I realized that these moments of shared honesty and vulnerability were some of the most precious of all. They taught me that true balance comes not only from within but also from the way we connect with others. In those moments, you learn that your inner journey is interwoven with the journeys of those around you, and together, you form a tapestry of experiences that is rich and full of life. As you approach the latter part of your day, the light begins to soften and the shadows grow longer. You find a quiet spot on a hillside where you can sit and watch the sun slowly descend behind distant hills. In that serene setting, you feel a deep sense of calm. The day has been long and filled with moments of reflection, challenge, and discovery. But as you watch the sky change its colors, from brilliant gold to soft lavender and deep indigo, you understand that this change is part of the natural cycle of life. Just as the day gives way to night, every phase of your journey flows into the next, each one building upon the lessons of the last. In these twilight moments, you remember all the little details of your journey, the sound of laughter shared with friends, the quiet determination during moments of solitude, the gentle courage it took to face your doubts, and the immense satisfaction of having grown a little stronger with every step. You feel that the inner connections you have nurtured are like a glowing ember, warming you from within and lighting the way even as darkness gathers. You know that this inner light, born of both reason and emotion, is a guiding force that will continue to lead you through every new challenge. Before the night fully settles in, you take out your journal one last time and begin to write about the day's journey. Your handwriting is slow and deliberate as you capture every thought and feeling, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the hopes for tomorrow. In your writing, you find not only a record of your experiences but also a promise to yourself that no matter how winding or uncertain the path may become, you will continue to nurture the delicate balance between your mind and your heart. Every word on the page is a testament to your resilience, your capacity for growth, and your unwavering belief in the beauty of life. As you close your journal and look up at the deep, star-filled sky, you feel a sense of peaceful anticipation. The stars, shining with a quiet brilliance, remind you that even in the vast darkness, there is light, each star a symbol of a dream, the hope, a moment of understanding that has illuminated your journey. In that moment, you realize that your inner connections have grown stronger with every challenge you have met. They have become a part of who you are, a steady guide that will carry you forward as you continue to explore the endless possibilities of tomorrow. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind clear with understanding, you slowly rise and begin to make your way back along the path. The day has given you so many gifts, a renewed sense of purpose, the comfort of cherished memories, and the excitement of new possibilities. You know that as you continue your journey, there will be more moments of challenge and more times when the balance between thought and emotion will be tested. Yet, you also know that every experience, whether filled with light or shadow, adds to the rich mosaic of your life. At this moment, as you walk home under the gentle glow of the evening, you feel a quiet confidence. You know that your journey is not defined by any single moment or decision, but by the way you have learned to listen to every part of yourself and to forge ahead with both wisdom and warmth. You are not alone on this path. Every person you meet carries their own story, their own struggles, and their own victories. And together, these shared experiences create a community of travelers, each one contributing to a larger story of growth and connection. Now, as the night deepens and you finally reach the doorstep of your home, you pause to look back at the path behind you. The memories of the day, the laughter, the quiet moments of reflection, the gentle challenges linger like soft echoes in your mind. You know that tomorrow will bring new opportunities to learn and to grow. With a final deep breath, you step inside, carrying with you the strength of your inner connections and the promise of a future bright with possibility. In that moment of quiet reflection, you understand that the journey is ongoing, a continuous unfolding of discovery, learning, and love. Every step, every choice, and every moment of doubt or clarity has built a bridge to the future. And as you settle in for the night, you feel a profound sense of peace knowing that your inner light, nurtured by both logic and emotion, will continue to guide you, day after day, step after step. Waking up on a quiet morning, you sense a new chapter unfolding in the story of your life. The soft light through your window invites you to step into the day with curiosity and hope. Today, the journey continues, not as a destination reached, but as an ongoing adventure where every choice you make helps shape your inner world. You recall that your path has been built brick by brick. Each decision, every moment of reflection, and even the struggles have become part of a magnificent mosaic. In a moment of reflection, you wander through a familiar neighborhood where the gentle rustle of leaves and distant bird calls remind you of the world's quiet rhythms. The streets and sidewalks are not just routes you follow, they are a tapestry woven from the dreams, memories, and lessons you've gathered over time. You recognize that every step, however small, contributes to the vast landscape of your future. It is here that your heart and mind continue their dialogue, sometimes in harmony and at other times with gentle discord, always guiding you toward deeper understanding. Strolling past a vibrant community garden, you see colors bursting from every corner, red roses, yellow daffodils, and soft blue forget-me-nots, all mingling together in a delightful display. Each flower seems to echo the diversity of your experiences, moments of joy, quiet contemplation, and even those times when life seemed challenging. The garden teaches you that beauty arises from variety. When you allow your logical thoughts and emotional insights to interlace, you create a richer, more vivid picture of life. This realization fills you with a sense of possibility that, even on cloudy days, the promise of color and growth remains. On a winding path lined with old, majestic trees, you pause to lean against a weathered trunk. The tree's bark is rough and strong, each groove a testament to years of enduring seasons. In that pause, you think of the times when you had to endure storms and gusts of doubt. The tree's silent strength reassures you that resilience is built over time. Its deep roots mirror the foundations you have laid within yourself, a foundation that has grown through careful decisions, moments of learning, and the persistent blending of reason and emotion. This moment of quiet introspection deepens your resolve to face whatever lies ahead. A few steps later, you come upon a gentle stream meandering through a sun-dappled clearing. The water glides smoothly over stones, creating soft, rhythmic ripples that soothe your thoughts. Observing the stream, you remember that life flows continuously, adapting to obstacles without ever losing its momentum. At times, the water cascades over a rock with unexpected force, and at other moments, it is calm and reflective. Such contrasts remind you that every phase, whether filled with turbulence or tranquility, plays a part in the ongoing dance of existence. With each ripple, you feel the certainty that you, too, can adjust and keep moving forward. Crossing a small stone bridge over the stream, you notice that each step on the bridge feels deliberate and well-placed. The bridge, built by hands long past, represents the union of your experiences, a structure that supports you even when the currents of life try to pull you off balance. Standing in the middle for a moment, you gaze down at the flowing water and appreciate the bridge's sturdy design. It teaches you that integration of different parts of yourself is not a momentary decision but a carefully constructed process. Every challenge you've overcome has been like a stone laid down in your bridge, a reminder that both logic and feeling have contributed to your strength. Moving on, you enter a busy town square where voices, footsteps, and laughter fill the air. In this vibrant place, you see people from all walks of life sharing their stories, their triumphs, and even their setbacks. Their interactions are a living example of how varied perspectives, each colored by unique experiences, can come together to create a community rich in understanding. As you listen to snippets of conversation and watch friendly exchanges, you feel inspired by the idea that your own inner dialogue is part of a larger human conversation. Every person you meet is on their own journey of balance, and your shared experiences weave a collective tapestry of hope and resilience. Later in the day, while visiting a small park on the outskirts of the town, you settle onto a bench beneath a flowering dogwood tree. The park is quiet here. A gentle breeze stirs the petals, and children's laughter echoes in the distance. Seated in this peaceful spot, you take a moment to write in your journal. The pen flows across the paper as you record your reflections, the small victories, the lingering doubts, and the hopes that keep you moving forward. Each written word is a tangible reminder that the process of self-discovery is ongoing. Your journal becomes a cherished map of your inner journey, where every entry is a milestone marking your growth and your persistent quest for balance. In the soft afternoon light, you recall a conversation with a dear friend about making tough choices. That friend had once told you that life is not about choosing between head and heart, but about finding a way to let them guide you in tandem. Their words resonate deeply as you think of a recent decision you faced, one that required you to balance practicality with passion. Instead of feeling torn, you now understand that every challenge presents an opportunity to learn. The decision, though initially daunting, eventually led to a new experience that enriched your life in unexpected ways. This insight fills you with gratitude for the struggles that have taught you so much. A sudden gust of wind carries the scent of fresh rain, and you glance upward as soft clouds begin to gather. The sky, once a clear blue, now hints at an approaching shower. Rather than feeling dismayed by the change, you welcome it as part of nature's rhythm. Nourishes the earth just as challenges nurture personal growth. In the cool mist that falls gently around you, there is a sense of renewal. You feel that the rain, like every obstacle, will eventually give way to clarity and brightness. With each droplet, the promise of transformation becomes more apparent, and you resolve to face the coming moments with openness and courage. After the rain subsides, you step onto a freshly washed street where the pavement glistens under the emerging sun. The sparkle on the ground reflects your own inner light, a light that has grown stronger through every trial and every triumph. As you continue your journey, you notice that the environment around you seems to mirror your internal evolution. The once muted colors of the town now appear vivid and full of life, as if the world itself has been awakened by the rain. This change reminds you that sometimes, after a period of difficulty, life reveals its most vibrant hues. You feel invigorated by the renewal, and your determination to pursue a balanced life is reinforced. A short while later, you find yourself in a small, bustling cafe where people sit together, sharing warm beverages and even warmer conversations. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingles with the sound of soft music playing in the background. In this lively yet intimate setting, you take a seat near a window and watch as the world moves by. Observing the diverse expressions on people's faces, you realize that every person carries their own blend of logic and emotion. Some seem lost in thought, while others are animatedly engaged in conversation. You feel a connection to them all, recognizing that the search for balance is a universal endeavor. The cafe, with its mix of chatter and quiet moments, offers you a brief but meaningful respite from your solitary walk, an opportunity to be part of the community while still cherishing your inner journey. Venturing back out onto the street, You pass by a small bookstore tucked away in a cozy corner. Drawn by the inviting display in the window, you step inside and browse through the shelves filled with stories and ideas. The quiet murmur of pages turning and soft footsteps on the wooden floor create a serene atmosphere. In the bookstore, you come across a book that speaks of ancient wisdom and modern dreams, a blend of insights that echoes your own quest for balance. As you flip through the pages, you feel inspired by the timeless messages of growth, resilience, and unity of heart and mind. You leave the store with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying the book as both a treasure and a reminder that wisdom can be found in many forms. Wandering further, you arrive at a scenic overlook that offers a panoramic view of the city below. The view is breathtaking: tiny buildings dot the landscape, winding roads stretch out like ribbons, and a river glimmers in the distance as it weaves through the urban sprawl. Standing at the edge of the overlook, you feel a profound connection to the world. You realize that just as the city is made up of countless individual stories, so too is your life, a mosaic of moments that together create something grand and beautiful. In that expansive view, you sense that every challenge you've faced has contributed to the larger picture, and every moment of joy has illuminated the path ahead. Taking a deep breath of the cool, fresh air, you decide to sit on a nearby stone bench. The silence is comforting, and you allow your mind to wander freely. Memories of past journeys, both joyous and difficult, flow through your thoughts like a gentle stream. You recall a time when you were uncertain about your path, feeling overwhelmed by choices that seemed impossible to reconcile. Now, those memories appear as stepping stones that have guided you steadily toward balance. The recollection fills you with gratitude for the wisdom gained through experience, and you understand that every twist and turn has its own purpose in the grand design of your life. In the fading light of the afternoon, the sound of distant laughter and the gentle hum of conversation remind you that human connection is a vital part of your journey. You think about the friends and family who have supported you along the way, their encouragement, their understanding, and their willingness to share in both your struggles and your successes. Each interaction is a thread woven into the fabric of your inner life, strengthening the ties that bind you to others. These connections, nurtured by both empathy and clear thought, offer you comfort and inspiration as you look toward the future. After a while, you rise from the bench and continue walking along a cobblestone street that winds through a historic district. The old buildings, with their charming details and time-worn facades, speak of eras gone by and the enduring nature of human spirit. As you pass by, you imagine the lives of those who once walked these same streets, each of them facing their own trials and triumphs. Their stories, though distant in time, resonate with you in a profound way. They remind you that the quest for balance is timeless, and that every generation has faced the delicate dance between reason and emotion. With that thought, you feel a renewed sense of connection to the past and a deep hope for the future. The cobblestone gives way to a quiet suburban road lined with friendly houses and blooming gardens. The familiar scenes evoke memories of childhood days when life was simple and every new experience was a wonder. In those early years, the blend of clear, logical lessons from school and the warm, unspoken wisdom of home laid the foundation for your inner journey. As an older traveler on this path, you carry those early lessons like precious heirlooms. They remind you that no matter how far you have come, the simple truths of kindness, curiosity, and resilience remain as important as ever. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves overhead as you near a small park where families gather to play and relax. The joyful shouts of children blend with the soft murmur of conversations among adults. In that lively scene, you observe the natural harmony of life, how each person, young or old, contributes their unique energy to create a balanced, vibrant community. The park becomes a microcosm of the world you wish to build within yourself, a place where the logical and the emotional coexist in joyful equilibrium. You smile, feeling that your own journey of balance mirrors the simple, profound ways in which people come together to celebrate life. Later on, the road takes you to a quiet lakeside, where the water stretches out in a vast mirror-like expanse. The lake is calm, and its surface reflects the sky above in perfect symmetry. Sitting at the water's edge, you watch as gentle ripples distort and then restore the reflection, much like the fluctuations in your own inner world. Moments of clarity sometimes blur into periods of doubt, but eventually, the true image of your soul shines through once more. The lake teaches you that even when life's reflections seem uncertain, time and patience will always bring back the clear, steady light of understanding. As evening approaches, you find a small hill overlooking a busy town. The setting sun casts a golden glow over the landscape, and the town below sparkles with life and activity. Standing on that hill, you feel both small and significant, a single part of a vast, interconnected whole. The warmth of the sun mingles with the coolness of the approaching dusk, and you realize that transitions are a natural part of existence. Every end gently makes way for a new beginning, and every challenge you have overcome is the groundwork for the opportunities of tomorrow. Reflecting on all that you have experienced throughout the day, you open your journal once more and begin to write. Your words capture the lessons of balance, the beauty of resilience, and the power of connection. You describe the colors of the sky, the feel of the cool breeze, and the soft murmur of the stream. With each written line, you not only record your thoughts but also solidify the understanding that every part of you matters, both the voice of reason and the whisper of emotion. Your journal, filled with honest reflections, becomes a beacon for future days when you might need a reminder of your own inner strength. After a long while, you set your journal aside and take a leisurely stroll home. The night sky is now filled with twinkling stars that form delicate patterns across the vast darkness. The stars seem to speak of infinite possibilities, each one a spark of hope that illuminates your path. In that starlit silence, you feel a deep sense of peace and a quiet confidence in the journey you are on. The blend of your careful thinking and your heartfelt intuition has carried you through another day, and you know that tomorrow will bring even more chances to learn, grow, and shine. During your walk, you pass a small bridge over a gently flowing creek. This bridge is modest but sturdy, a symbol of the many connections you have built over time. Every time you cross a bridge like this, you are reminded that the journey is not only about reaching a destination but also about the connections you make along the way. Friends, family, mentors, and even brief encounters with kind strangers all contribute to the rich tapestry of your life. Their support and shared wisdom help you navigate the sometimes challenging terrain of your inner world, and you carry that warmth with you as you continue forward. Eventually, you reach your own doorstep, where familiar sounds and comforting lights welcome you home. Inside, you settle into a quiet corner and reflect on the day's journey with a sense of accomplishment. The challenges you faced, the moments of joy and quiet reflection, and the many small victories have all become part of your unique story. You know that every day is an opportunity to further integrate the thoughtful clarity of your mind with the compassionate depth of your heart. In this quiet time, you allow yourself to feel gratitude for the journey, understanding that the path of balance is never-ending and ever rewarding. In the soft glow of the lamplight, you consider the dreams that have quietly grown within you over the years, dreams of exploring new ideas, of connecting more deeply with others, and of creating a future that reflects the best parts of who you are. Even as you close your eyes and prepare for sleep, those dreams remain vivid, urging you to wake with a renewed sense of purpose. They remind you that your inner journey is a living, breathing process, one that evolves with every breath and every step you take. Tonight, as you drift into a peaceful slumber, you carry with you the promise of a new day, a day when the balance you have nurtured will continue to guide you. In your dreams, you see the starlight merging with the soft hues of dawn, a symbol of the harmony between the logical and the emotional. Each dream is a gentle reminder that you are the architect of your own future, capable of crafting a life filled with beauty, wisdom, and endless possibility. Before you fully surrender to sleep, you take a final moment to whisper a quiet promise to yourself, to remain true to both the voice of reason and the voice of the heart, to embrace each challenge as a lesson, and to cherish every connection along the way. This promise, soft yet powerful, is the beacon that will guide you through the uncertainties of tomorrow and light the way for many more journeys yet to come. With a heart filled with hope and a mind at peace, You close your eyes and let the quiet rhythms of the night carry you into a future that is bright, balanced, and full of promise. Each new morning will be a chance to build upon today's lessons, a new opportunity to chart your inner journey with courage, clarity,